A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Suspense. And the producer of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, the master of mystery and adventure, William N. Robeson.
It is said, revenge is sweet. But is it? Can the eye of your enemy restore your sight? Or his tooth chew your daily bread? Or his life resurrect your beloved dead? Such questions do tonight's story raise, not forgetting the while to keep you in suspense. Think about them as you listen, and listen well, as Myron McCormick stars in Madman of Manhattan, which begins in just a moment.
Welcome, William Bendix.
Nobody can act up to par with a nasty cold. I check my cold distress the fast way, with 4-way cold tablets.
Yes, tests of 4 leading cold tablets proved 4-way fastest acting of all. Amazing 4-way starts in minutes to relieve aches, pains, headache, reduce fever, calm upset stomach, also overcomes irregularity.
4-way's the fast way to relieve those cold miseries. Then you feel better quickly.
4-way cold tablets, only 29 and 59 cents.
Here's a word about another fine product of Grove Laboratories. Had dandruff for years? Now get rid of it in 3 minutes with Fitch Dandruff Remover Shampoo. 3 minutes with Fitch regularly is guaranteed to keep unsightly dandruff away forever. Apply Fitch before wetting hair. Rub in 1 minute. Add water. Lather 1 minute. Then rinse 1 minute. Every trace of dandruff goes down the drain. 3 minutes with Fitch, embarrassing dandruff's gone. Fitch can also leave hair up to 35% brighter. Get Fitch Dandruff Remover Shampoo today.
And now, Madman of Manhattan, starring Mr. Myron McCormick. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Position of authority.
Come here.
You can always tell by their voices.
Sign out.
Commanding. The smaller the authority, the more commanding the voice.
You hear me?
Yes, sir. Sign out, you said. Here?
Right below where you signed when you came in.
What?
Oh, perfect forgery.
Beg your pardon?
Oh, I mean your signature is an almost exact copy.
You object?
No, sir.
Do you think you're talking to one of your, lunatics upstairs?
No, sir.
Sir. Always call me sir. I enjoy being called sir. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Westland. Sir.
Walk slowly. No need to hurry. No need at all. That's right. Light a cigarette. Must be some in the pockets. Yes. What brand did Mr. Westland smoke? Excellent. Light it. No need to run. There won't be an alarm for at least 20 minutes. Why think of that? No need to think of that. One look back over the shoulder, casually. Casually. Well, it's pleasant to be on the outside looking in after 2 years in an insane asylum.
And now what do you have?
This is a restaurant.
Are you kidding?
And you're a waitress. Lovely waitress.
Look, do you or don't you want something to eat?
I'd much rather look at you.
Look, mister.
I'm going to take you out of all this.
Oh, sure.
Furs, diamonds warm against your skin.
Hey, let go my hand.
Your name is Fay. I see it embroidered on your uniform. Fay. Mm-hmm. Now, Fay, listen to me.
The manager's looking over here.
I'll tell you something you can tell to your children. To your children's children and their children's children's children.
A comedian.
Now, listen, this will be the biggest thrill of your life. I just escaped from Bellevue.
What?
I'm Lacey Abbott. Been in the psychopathic ward in Bellevue for 2 years.
You don't say.
Nicholas Westland, my lawyer, came to see me. When we were alone, I strangled him to death.
Huh?
Yes. I changed clothes with him, signed his name on my way out. It'll be in the papers.
Yeah, I'll remember to read about it.
I had a wife once. Kate. They say I killed her. So I must have killed her.
Sure, you killed her.
No, I didn't. Martin Avery killed her.
Sure, Martin Avery killed her. And now, what are you going to have?
Martin Avery. That's what I'm going to have. Anyone minding the store?
I'm coming.
Hello, Pop.
Well, what do you want? Got something you want to hawk? Don't bother me with it. Everybody's selling. Nobody's buying.
You got me wrong, Pop. I'm a buyer. I want to buy a .45 automatic.
Got a permit?
No.
You from the police?
Nope.
Got any identification?
Yeah?
Lawyer, huh?
That's right.
There you are. Here's $35.
Thanks, Pop. I won't forget this. Neither will, a friend of mine.
In a moment, we continue with the second act of Suspense.
With your permission, we'd like to talk shop for just a moment. CBS Radio Shop. Recently, one of the foremost publications in the broadcasting field polled 465 critics and editors. The question, which radio network programs do you rate tops? When the answers from these 465 experts were tabulated, the final ratings were overwhelmingly one-sided. Total honors accorded CBS radio programs exceeded those of all the other networks combined. Let's put it another way. The final verdict of hundreds of critics, reviewers, and editors was that CBS Radio had more top shows than all other networks put together. CBS Radio was pleased, naturally, at the result of the poll, but not surprised. Great programming is no accident. It's long been a policy of this network to devote every effort to maintaining the highest broadcast standards. Whatever listening fare is for you, you can be sure you're hearing the best when you're tuned to CBS Radio.
And now, starring Mr. Myron McCormick, Act 2 of Madman of Manhattan.
A little late to call on Martin Avery, but our business won't wait. May I blow your brains out, Mr. Martin Avery? Thank you, sir. How do they say it in the movies? You want it in the belly or the back? Your choice, Martin. Your choice.
Lacey.
May I come in?
Lacey, you're in Bellevue.
But you see, I'm not.
They'll find you.
They'll find you first.
I don't expect anything from you, Lacey. You're a sick man. I feel sorry for you. I have my wife and child, my son, here in the apartment, so put that away.
This gun? It's just to keep your voice down. It's a toy. It can't hurt. It kills.
Put it down.
Well, wouldn't you like that?
After all, Lacey, we were friends once. You wouldn't kill me.
I just killed Nick Westland. That's how I escaped.
Westland? You killed Westland?
You can always find another lawyer. It shouldn't upset you. Anyway, he wasn't your lawyer, it was mine. He never liked you. He liked me.
He was trying to help you.
He did.
What do you want with me?
Company.
Company?
That's what I missed most of all, Martin. Can you believe that? Company. 2 years, no one to talk to. Oh, the doctor, sure, but not really anyone. 2 years, Martin. No one ever came to see me, to talk to me.
I'm sorry.
Why didn't you come, Martin?
Well, I wanted to, but I didn't think it'd accomplish anything.
Just to say hello, for old times'
Look, I told you, I didn't think that...
Relax, Martin. It's going to be a long night. Maybe you won't see the end of it, Martin. Depends, we'll see. Depends on whether you say things I want to hear, whether you do things I like. It's up to me. Yes. I've waited a long time, and now it's up to me. Look at him. Look at Martin Avery. Standing alone in the study of his Better Homes and Gardens apartment. Alone with only me to keep you company. Yes, everything must be going exceptionally well for you. Everything must have paid off for you. But I notice as I move about the study, turning off the lamps, that there's a trace of perspiration on your forehead. Does it affect you? Just a little? Being alone with a madman and a gun at night? What's taking place behind the steady eyes, Martin? You thinking? That would be fatal. That was my mistake. Thinking too much. Watch me, Martin. That's right. Never take your eyes from me. I want you to keep watching me. For then you can't help but think about it.
What did you say?
I want you to think about it.
Think about what?
Whatever comes into your mind as you watch me.
The police will come here looking for you, Lacey.
Police?
You know that.
Why should the police want me?
Well, you killed a man.
Yes, but you killed a woman.
Now, Lacey, I can help you. I'll get you some of my clothes. Call a cab, get you to a small hotel somewhere where they won't recognize you or care if they do. Now,
don't talk to me like that. Everybody talks to me like that. You just come along with me. We know best.
Lacey, it's just a matter of time.
Remember, Martin, I'm crazy. I'm not responsible for what I do.
You're as responsible as anyone. You know what you did when you killed Westland.
Now you're saying I'm not crazy?
You know what I mean.
I'm either responsible or I'm not. If I'm responsible, then I'm a murderer. If not, then Nicholas Westland's death was an unfortunate accident. But the question of my responsibility was all taken care of in court 2 years ago, remember? You testified against me?
I told the truth.
Did you?
Yes.
I was the only one that knew you were lying, Martin.
You knew I told the truth.
Where are your wife and your boy sleeping, Martin? Answer it. Go ahead, but hold the receiver up so I can hear. Go ahead.
Hello.
Mr. Avery?
Yes.
This is Lieutenant Creekmore, police.
What is it, Lieutenant?
Is everything all right up there?
Yes. Everything is all right.
You sure?
Yes.
Have you heard that Lacey Abbott escaped from Bellevue tonight?
Yes, I heard.
And you know about Nicholas Westland?
Yes.
Poor guy never had a chance. We thought Abbott was getting better, but...
Yes. It's too bad.
The reason I called you, you know how Abbott feels about you. He may try to get you.
You think so?
You might try, but you don't have to worry, Mr. Avery. I have 4 of my best men covering the front and rear entrances to your apartment house.
Well,
If he shows up, we'll get him. Good night.
Aren't we fortunate in having such a solicitous police force?
Look, Lacey, let me get you out of here. You go down to the second-floor landing, and I'll call the men up from downstairs and tell them you're up here. See, that'll give you a chance to get out.
You didn't answer my question, Martin. Where are your wife and son sleeping?
In the back bedroom.
Through that door and?
Straight back. Down the hall.
And the nursery?
Look, why do you...
The nursery.
Just half of the bedroom.
Does she have black hair? Like Kate?
No. She's brown hair. It's almost blonde.
How old is your boy?
A year and 6 months.
Yes, I remember. Someone told me you were married while the trial... My trial... was in progress.
Yeah, that's right.
1 year for the trial, 2 years in the insane asylum.
I wish there was something that...
Oh, there is.
All right, what?
Just tell me. Why did you kill my wife? Tell me.
Don't be quiet. You'll wake him
Let me tell you a little story, Martin, a fantasy, a bedtime story.
Listen to me.
Once upon a time, there were 2 men who went into business together. Things went pretty well. The business prospered and things looked pretty good. Everything was 50-50. Each partner had 50% of the stock in the company. That's fair enough. Then along came a big bad menace. A corporation that wanted to buy them out at a nice round fat figure. One partner wants to sell, the other partner no.
The partner that said no had a wife. Let's call her Kate. And it seems his stock was negotiable in Kate's name as well as his own.
If you'd only...
Shut up. The partner that wants to sell, that's you, pulls a fast one while I'm out of town and gets Kate to sign away everything. But before I got back, she saw what you were doing. And right there, was where she disappeared.
No.
And I wonder who it was that saw to it. I wonder who it was that killed her.
You're still out of your mind.
It's just a fantasy, Martin. The fantasy that with your few well-chosen words at the inquest started them looking at me. Wondering about me, wondering why I was away. What I'd done with the body.
Lacey.
Such nicely chosen words. Such as, I'd noticed he hadn't been himself lately, but I just thought it was overworked.
Look, you've got to listen.
Thanks, partner. I do thank you, and I stand ready to repay you, Martin. Where's her body?
I don't know.
Martin.
Look, it was never proven she was dead.
Let's say it was taken for granted.
Give me the gun.
Oh. Advanced psychology. You must have been studying.
Give me the gun.
Response to the command, isn't that the way it goes? Response to the command sometimes works the impossible. The subject will sometimes obey your command against his better judgment.
Give it to me.
No, Martin.
Don't.
Oh, you think it's better than that? Come on, more noise, more, come on. Someone might come in and see. That's better. I knew you were going to jump me. You know I could have killed you.
Why didn't you?
You haven't told me what I've got to know.
What would you do if I walked over to that door and just walked out?
First, I'd shoot you in the shoulder. Or the leg. And maybe the other shoulder. I don't want you dead. Not yet.
Look, Lacey, I never harmed you. I swear that. I swear it.
Tell me, where is Kate's body?
I don't know.
Tell me.
I can't.
Through the door and down the hall.
No.
Just off the bedroom?
No, not the boy. Lacey.
Tell me.
No, I can't. Lacey. Don't lock me in. Come back. Lacey, you can't. Ann. Get Johnny. Lock your door. Ann. No. Ann. Johnny. No. I'll tell.
In a moment, we continue with the third act of Suspense.
A word of advice for those of you who suffer from acid indigestion, heartburn, or gas.
Do you know about the little white tablets in the little green pocket roll? Just a-waiting for the moment when you need 'em to bring your acid indigestion under control. Tums are the little white tablets in the little green pocket roll. Tums for the tummy, T-U-M-S. Bring relief quicker than you'd ever guess. Best for any kind of acid distress. Keep 'em handy in the pocket roll. Keep your tummy under Tums control.
The modern Tums formula has never been surpassed for effectiveness. Always carry Tums, 10 cents. 3-roll pack, a quarter. Or get the new 6-roll Tums pack with free metal carrier, only 49 cents.
And now, starring Mr. Myron McCormick, Act 3 of Madman of Manhattan.
Nicholas Westland speaking. Yes, I know, sir. I'm glad you had the faith to play along with. Yeah, I know. It was pretty extreme. Here, I'll let you talk to Lieutenant Creekmore.
Hello, Commissioner. Avery's wife and child, they're okay. Got a little scared when Abbott fired those 2 shots in the ceiling. Yeah, I know, but that's what got the confession out of Avery. I know he shouldn't have brought the gun. We didn't bargain on that. Yeah, we got it. It's all on tape. Listen. Play it back, boys. I'm just playing the good part.
It doesn't matter now. Nothing matters now. You were wrong, Lacey. Kate came to me months before you took the trip. She wanted to leave you. She thought she wanted me. And it was her idea to sign the stock over to me, everything. And I kidded her along. Why not? And then when you were away, she signed the stock over. She found out about Ann and me. It doesn't matter now. I tried to talk to Kate. Argument. We had a fight. I didn't mean it. It was an accident. I killed her. I fixed it so they'd suspect you. That wasn't hard. It was better than I thought. You seemed to be out of your mind. Where did you put her? I kept...
That's nothing.
Until they...
You get it? Yeah, well, we'd never have cracked Martin Avery any other way. They wanted to release Lacey Abbott 6 months ago. Said he was as sane as I am, but I'm glad we waited till he had this worked out in his head. Yeah, you'll have my full report tomorrow. Good night. And thanks, Commissioner, for letting us try it.
Well, Lacey, you should be feeling pretty good about all this. Your plan worked out great. You're clear.
What difference does that make? He said Kate came to him. Kate came to him.
Suspense, in which Myron McCormick starred in William N. Robeson's production of Madman of Manhattan, written by Gilbert Thomas. In a moment, the names of the supporting players and a word about next week's story of Suspense.
Money can buy many things, tangible things. It can also help buy many intangible but equally important things. Education, for instance. Today, our public schools are bursting at the seams with record enrollments. There are shortages of everything but pupils. Shortages of classrooms, of facilities, of qualified teachers. New funds must be found to help relieve the pressure on our public school systems if the nation's youngsters are to receive the first-rate education they need. They must not be threatened by second-rate standards. We must face up to the fact that better schools cost money. Let's raise our sights and re-examine our standards. For complete information on how you and your community can make sure your children receive the first-rate education they need, write to Better Schools, 9 East 40th Street, New York 16. That's Better Schools, 9 East 40th Street, New York 16.
Supporting Myron McCormick in Madman of Manhattan were Doris Singleton, Carl Swenson, Barney Phillips, and Norm Alden. Listen. Listen again next week when we return with Frank Lovejoy starring in Death in Box 234. Another tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
The latest news follows, then Have Gun Will Travel on CBS Radio.
Suspense. And the producer of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, the master of mystery and adventure, William N. Robeson.
Psychiatrists can tell you some very interesting things about the symbolism of money, and they may be right. Have you ever noticed the furtive way people deposit and withdraw money in a bank? As though it were an almost indecent act, something which should be done secretly and in private. Of course, bank employees are different. Money to them is a commodity, the raw material of their business. They handle it impersonally, without feeling. That is, most of them do. But every now and then, a man can't stand working around so much loot, and he dips his hand into the till and gets it caught. Not so the hero of our story. He has time and patience and brains. He robs a bank and is never caught by the police. Listen then as Mr. Frank Lovejoy stars in Death in Box 234, which begins in just a moment.
Here's actress Joan Bennett.
It's terrible to try to act with a dreadful cold. To feel better quickly, I take 4-way cold tablets, the fast way to relieve nasty cold distress.
Yes, tests of 4 leading cold tablets proved 4-way fastest acting of all. Amazing 4-way starts in minutes to relieve aches, pains, headache, reduce fever, calm upset stomach, also overcomes irregularity.
When you catch cold, try my way. Take 4-way cold tablets, the fast way to relieve cold distress.
4-way, 29 and 59 cents.
Here's a word about another fine product of Grove Laboratories. Had dandruff for years? Now get rid of it in 3 minutes with Fitch Dandruff Remover Shampoo. 3 minutes with Fitch regularly is guaranteed to keep unsightly dandruff away forever. Apply Fitch before wetting hair. Rub in 1 minute. Add water. Lather 1 minute. Then rinse 1 minute. Every trace of dandruff goes down the drain. 3 minutes with Fitch, embarrassing dandruff's gone. Fitch can also leave hair up to 35% brighter. Get Fitch Dandruff Remover Shampoo today.
And now, Death in Box 234, starring Mr. Frank Lovejoy. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
I'm sure you'll agree the best way to rob a bank is from the inside. Well, I was on the inside. I was the guy you had to sign in with before you could get into your safe deposit box. It sort of gave me a sense of importance and power. Made me a little dizzy, too, thinking of all the loot in those 2,000 boxes. Jewelry, bonds, and cash. And it taught me patience. I had to wait a long, long time before I could put my plan to work. But finally, one day, a little old man walked into the bank carrying a covered birdcage.
Is this where I can get a safety draw, young fella?
If you mean a safety deposit box, this is the right place.
Bank, ever been robbed?
No, sir.
Don't trust banks. But I got to unload this cage somewhere.
You want to put a bird in a safe deposit box?
No, I got my money in the cage. Always keep it there, half for years. I own a pet store. Lots of bird cages, some covered, some uncovered. You want to hide something, hide it in the open. But now, I don't know. There's been so many stick-ups lately. Tell you what, I'll take one of the safety drawers.
Very well. If you'll just sign here, I'll get you a key. I turned to the key chart, my heart pounding. This was the kind of a customer I'd been waiting for. I searched the chart until I found 2 empty boxes, one above the other. I gave Mr. Jensen 234, and I mentally reserved box 233 for myself. After the old man had left with the empty bird cage, George, the guard, confirmed my suspicions.
Man, you know what that old guy had in that bird cage?
He told me it was money.
All said was that cage was stuffed with dough, and not a bill less than a C-note.
George, I'm amazed that anyone who worked in a bank as long as you would be impressed by $100 bills.
In a bird cage?
George, you know it's against the bank's policy to discuss the contents of the customer's safe deposit boxes.
What are you barking for, a vice presidency?
Merely reminding you, George. It would never do for me to betray my excitement to George. Just as it would never do for me to take out the box above Mr. Jensen's in my own name. For this, I needed someone else. Someone who needed money desperately. Someone with larceny in his heart. But not grand larceny, just petty larceny. I began to search the classified ads, and a couple of days later I found one that sounded just right. Young man wants work, it said. Will do anything for money. Phone UL 23742.
Hello?
Are you the man who placed the ad in the paper?
That's right, Dan. You got a job for me?
If I told you that for just 3 hours a week you could earn $30, would you be interested?
Crazy. What's the gimmick?
Well, it might involve a little risk.
I've taken risks before. What do you want me to do?
I can't discuss it over the phone. If you'll meet me at the sandwich mill on the corner of Van Buren and Gilbert Streets tomorrow at 1:30, there's a $10 bill in it for you, whether you take the job or not. I'll be at the table by the door.
I'll be there.
I hadn't been in the sandwich mill for more than 5 minutes when he showed up. His name was Gil. He looked like he could use a buck, so I didn't waste any time putting my cards on the table. 3 times a week, I'll meet you here. I'll give you $20 You'll come to the bank, you'll put $10 in a deposit box and keep 10 for yourself.
It's too easy. What's in it for you?
Well, that's beside the point. If you do as I say, you'll have $30 a week. If you don't, you'll have nothing. First time you don't show up, the deal will be off. Have you got that straight?
Yeah. How long will this go on?
Well, that depends when I no longer need your services. All the money you leave in the deposit box will be yours, plus a $1,000 bonus. Still interested?
Are you kidding? What have I got to lose?
Nothing. He couldn't lose. I couldn't lose. Nobody could lose but Mr. Jensen. And any old man who carries his dough around in a bird cage deserves to lose it.
Now that most medium-priced cars have raised their prices, must you settle for something less? Not if you buy an Ambassador V8 by Rambler, the medium-priced car that did not raise prices for $59. The luxurious but compact Ambassador, American Motor's finest, is next year's car at last year's price. Come test our best. See how Ambassador gives you full hat room, shoulder room, and leg room for all 6 passengers. Discover luxuries that even the most expensive cars do not offer. Personalized luxury, including front seats that adjust back and forward separately for your individual comfort and leg room. Thrill to the new experience of a perfect power-to-weight ratio that enables Ambassador's 270 horsepower V8 to outperform other cars in its class. Turn on a dime, park easily anywhere, because Ambassador has no useless overhang. Don't let yourself be priced out of the medium-priced field. Get next year's car at last year's price. The luxurious Ambassador at Rambler dealers.
And now, starring Mr. Frank Lovejoy, Act 2 of Death in Box 234.
Like I said, robbing a bank takes a good plan and lots of patience. I had both. 3 times a week, Gil, my hired stooge, deposited $10 in his safe deposit box. And once a week, Mr. Jensen deposited a bird cage full of $100 bills in his. There was only one hitch in the whole beautiful setup. I began to like the old man.
Everything under lock and key, young fella?
Safe and sound, Mr. Jensen.
That's the kind of talk I like to hear.
How's it with you?
Well, not so good.
Oh? What's the matter?
I'm having trouble with Priscilla.
Somehow I didn't think you were married.
I'm not.
Oh? Then Priscilla's your girlfriend?
At my age? Thanks, young fella. No, Priscilla's a parrot.
A lady parrot?
I think so. Never been sure, though. Had her for 10 years, and I'm still not sure. Hard to tell with parrots.
What kind of trouble has Priscilla been giving you?
Well, I worry about her. She's been off her feed. Hasn't had a single seed for nearly a week now. Usually eats right out of my hand. Now she just sits in a cage and droops. Well, I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Well, if I were you, I wouldn't worry about it.
If you were me, you would worry about it. What do you suppose I run that pet shop for? Ain't the money. I got more than I'll ever need. It's for friends.
Friends?
Sure. Priscilla and the other birds and the puppies, even the goldfish. Friends. They're all the friends I got. But it's more friends than most fellas my age has got left.
You see what I mean? He's a nice old guy. As George the guard escorted him in his birdcage into the vault, I couldn't help feeling like a heel. But only for a moment. On his way out, Mr. Jensen stopped at my desk again.
Well, young fella, I won't be seeing you so often anymore.
Oh, you're going away?
No. No, but you got all my money here now, so I'll just drop by every month or so to check up on you. Now, you take good care of it, young fella.
Don't you worry, Mr. Jensen. I'll take care of your money as if it were my own. Now, only one thing stood between me and Mr. Jensen's money. My friend George, the guard. George knew Mr. Jensen. George would blow the whistle if he saw Gil emptying Mr. Jensen's box. So George had to be put out of action during our action. But how? Well, in order to get anywhere in this world, you've got to use the other fellow's weakness. Gil's weakness, like mine, was that root of all evil, the love of money. And George's weakness was alcohol. He kept a pint stashed in the glove compartment of his car, and every day after lunch, he sneaked out to the parking lot for a quick belt. And a Mickey in George's pint would put him in the emergency hospital for the afternoon. That night I called Gil to make sure he'd meet me at the usual time and place. And the next morning, on my way into the bank, I doctored George's booze. I by slowly. 10:30, 11, 11:30. Everything was set for the big heist, the perfect bank robbery. I'd covered every detail. Nothing could go wrong now. I'd thought of everything.
Good morning, young fella.
But this. There stood Mr. Jensen, looking like death dug up, a dirty bandage around his right hand.
I come in to look at my money.
Of course, Mr. Jensen. What happened to your hand?
It's that Priscilla. She bit me. Finally got her appetite back and had a piece of my hand for breakfast.
Have you seen a doctor?
No, but don't believe in doctors.
But you never can tell. A thing like that might be dangerous, give you blood poisoning.
Don't you worry about me, young fella. Nature'll take care of it. Always been a great believer in nature. It ain't the bite that bothers me. It's Priscilla. I can't understand why she turned on me. She was my oldest friend.
Mr. Jensen was in the vault for a long, long time, and I began to wonder if I'd missed my date with Gil. I couldn't leave, of course, until I was sure he was out of the bank. But at last he came back to the desk and returned the key.
Young fella, you're doing a good job. A real good job.
Thank you, Mr. Jensen.
Yes, sir. I just counted every single penny of my money, and it's all there. Just as safe as if I was minding it myself. Nothing like counting money, you know. Especially if it's your own. Best indoor sport I ever heard of. Well, keep up the good work, Si.
I will, Mr. Jensen. You better get that hand looked at.
Ah, look after my hand. You look after my money.
Look, Dad, you know how much dough I got in that safe deposit box?
Yes, Gil. Do you?
$240, and I could use it. You know, there ain't nothing that can stop me from going in there and taking it out.
That's right, Gil. It's your money.
Yeah, well, and that's what I'm going to do.
And lose your bonus?
What bonus?
$1,000.
$1,000? Who do I have to kill?
No one.
I don't dig you, man, but I learned a long time ago you don't get something for nothing.
That's right. Now, here's what you have to do for your $1,000.
Go, man.
Come into the bank at 2:30. I'll give you a large manila envelope and the key to box 234. That's just below yours. There'll be a different guard, so don't worry about being recognized. Take all the money out of the box and put it in the envelope. When you come back to my counter, return the key, give me the envelope. I'll give you an identical one with $1,000 in it.
Just like that.
I'm reading your mind, Gil. Don't try to walk out of the bank with the money. All I have to do is push one little button and you'll be shot before you reach the door. Remember that.
What about my $240?
Well, you come back tomorrow. You get it out of box 233, and that's the last time I want to see you. Have you got everything straight?
I got it straight.
I'm reading your mind again. Stop thinking about $10,000 reward leading to the arrest and conviction. You couldn't prove a thing. It's your word against mine, not a shred of proof or evidence. So just take your $1,240 and go quietly. When I got back to the bank, George was nowhere to be seen. And Big Joe, the guard who works the front door, was back at the vault. Right on the dot of 2:30, Gil came into the bank, took the manila envelope and the key to box 234, and disappeared into the vault, followed by Big Joe. 5 minutes later, he was back. He shoved the key across the counter, but he held on to the manila envelope full of money. I held on to the envelope containing the $1,000 bonus.
How do I know there's $1,000 in that envelope?
You don't?
Yeah, but I know what's in this envelope, and it's plenty.
I know.
More than $1,000. Lots more.
Don't be greedy, Gil.
I got a right to some of it.
All right, go ahead. Take it all. But you better hurry. The guard is looking this way. Now remember, there's the little button under the counter. My finger is on it, Gil. Shall I push it now?
Here's the envelope. Give me the $1,000.
I thought the day would never end, but of course it finally did. And I rushed home to my apartment, double-locked the doors, ripped open the envelope, dumped the money onto a coffee table in a beautiful green pile, and began counting. I was only up to $50,000 when I noticed there was blood on the money. fresh, wet blood. And I discovered I'd cut my finger when I'd torn open the envelope. One of those deep paper cuts that don't hurt at first but only bleed. I wrapped my handkerchief around it and went on counting. 100, 110, $118,000. Old man Jensen was right. There's no greater indoor sport than counting your own money. And every cent of it was mine now. Now here is where the story should end. With a bank robber skipping the country with his ill-gotten gains to spend the rest of his life in luxurious ease in some Central American banana republic. But this was no ordinary bank job, and I was too smart a bank robber. I didn't need to make a getaway. I went back to work the next morning.
It's early evening, and you're out visiting friends. The conversation is stimulating. Perhaps a pleasant game of cards has started. You're relaxed and enjoying yourself. But your enjoyment could be spoiled if you should suddenly feel a troublesome twinge of acid indigestion, heartburn, or gas. Then your evening is ruined. But not if you bring Tums along. You take a Tums tablet with no fuss or inconvenience. You relax and let the remarkable medically tested antacid ingredients in Tums go to work. Tums work fast. As a matter of fact, in a matter of seconds, you're feeling better. You're enjoying yourself again. You see, nothing but Tums works so fast to make you feel so good so long. So wherever you are, always carry Tums for quick relief from acid indigestion, heartburn, gas. T-U-M-S, Tums, 10 cents. 3-roll pack, a quarter. Or get the new 6-roll Tums pack, just 49 cents.
And now, starring Mr. Frank Lovejoy, Act 3 of Death in Box 234.
Yes, I went back to work the morning after I knocked off Mr. Jensen's safe deposit box for $118,000. I went back to work as though nothing had happened, and nothing did. George was back, too, looking peaked and blaming his illness on the lousy luncheon meat his wife put in his sandwiches. Gil came in and emptied box 233 and left without a word. And days went by without a sign of old Mr. Jensen. I gave my notice to the bank and made my plans to move out to the West Coast. But I began to feel lousy. And then I began to look like I felt. George noticed it first.
Hey, Harry, you look bad. I mean, real sick.
Gee, thanks.
I mean, bad. Like old man Jensen last time he was in here.
George, you say the nicest things. But I knew he was right. I had looked at myself in the mirror. I was flushed. There was a hollow look I'd never seen in my eyes before. I got scared. I couldn't figure it out. Somehow counting the money wasn't fun anymore. Finally, I woke up one morning with a raging fever. Going to work was out of the question. I was weak as a kitten. It was all I could do to pick up the morning paper from under my apartment door. I slumped back into bed, and then I saw it. A couple of paragraphs tucked away on the back page. A diagnosis of my illness. And I knew then I would never leave this bed. The cut. If I only hadn't cut my finger on that envelope when I counted the money. Oh, yes, the newspaper. Here's what it says. Bird bites, man dies. Mr. A.J. Jensen, 75, was found dead last night in the back of his pet shop at 8957 Tulane Avenue. Cause of death was determined after examining a serious wound on his right hand. The wound had been inflicted by a parrot which was infected by psittacosis, a deadly disease for which no cure is known. Every article of Mr. Jensen's clothing and personal belongings had to be destroyed as they were highly contaminated. Mr. Jensen died without any living relations or close friends, and apparently without any estate. By the way, I've got Mr. Jensen's money right here under my mattress, if you'd like to have it.
Suspense, in which Frank Lovejoy starred in William N. Robeson's production of Death in Box 234, written by Don Hahn. In a moment, the names of the supporting players and a word about next week's story of suspense.
Hi there, Frank. Fill her up, will you?
Sure thing.
Say, Frank, what's this I just heard on the radio about a big treasure hunt? Said I might have a Fram filter cartridge in my car right now worth $1,000 and not even know it.
Well, that's right. A regular filter check is important to today's cars. So important that Fram Corporation is paying from $1 to $1,000 in prizes to get people to check their filters now.
Not cash money, Frank.
Oh, yes, sir. This is Fram's silver anniversary. Last year, 10,000 secretly numbered Fram filters were distributed all over the United States and installed in cars during regular servicing. And if you have one in your car now, you could get up to 1,000 silver dollars. And I'd get up to $1,000 too.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's check my oil filter. And let's check my air filter, too.
Hurry, folks. Get in on the big Fram treasure hunt. You could win up to $1,000 in cash. Check your car filters now.
Supporting Frank Lovejoy in Death in Box 234 were Edgar Staley, Lou Krugman, and Sam Pierce. Listen. Listen again next week when we return with script by Mark Brady. Another tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
5:30.
Suspense. And the producer of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, the master of mystery and adventure, William N. Robeson.
One of the saddest phrases uttered by man is, "I didn't know it was loaded." The presumed empty gun is the cause of countless tragedies. But our story concerns a tragedy which resulted from a gun that was presumed to be loaded. It concerns, too, that most desirable and dangerous of all phenomena, a beautiful woman. Listen then as Miss Marie Windsor stars in Script by Mark Brady, which begins in just a moment.
Here's Frankie Lane. I never feel like singing with a bad cold, so I take wonderful 4-way cold tablets to relieve my cold misery fast.
Right. Tests of 4 leading cold tablets proved 4-way fastest acting of all. Amazing 4-way starts in minutes to relieve aches, pains, headache, reduce fever, calm upset stomach, also overcomes irregularity.
So when you catch cold, take my advice. Take 4-way cold tablets. It's the fast way to relieve those nasty cold miseries and feel better quickly.
4-way, 29 and 59 cents.
Here's a word about another fine product of Grove Laboratories. Does dandruff dull your hair, leave scalp itchy? Get Fitch Dandruff Remover Shampoo and get rid of unsightly dandruff in 3 minutes. 3 minutes with Fitch regularly is guaranteed to keep embarrassing dandruff away forever. Apply Fitch before wetting hair. Rub in 1 minute. Add water. Lather 1 minute. Rinse 1 minute. Every trace of dandruff goes down the drain. 3 minutes with Fitch. Unsightly dandruff's gone. Fitch can also leave your hair up to 35% brighter. Fitch Dandruff Remover Shampoo. And now, script by Mark Brady, starring Miss Marie Windsor. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Within the next few minutes, I will commit murder. Cold, premeditated murder. Why? Well, since I'm a writer of murder mysteries, perhaps the simplest way to explain is to dramatize my story. Hence this script, my last, to be delivered to the studio after my arrest. Cast of characters: Mark Brady, a writer in his early 30s. College graduate, easygoing, intelligent. Mary Brady, his wife, beautiful, with a bright, unused brain. Jason Roberts, his best friend, an intellectual snob. The scene, the Brady's comfortable book-lined apartment. The time, a few months ago.
But, Mark, couldn't you get one of the girls from the office?
Why all the fuss about even numbers?
Well, every time Jason comes for dinner, he comes alone. I don't like it.
Oh? I should think you'd welcome the undivided attention of 2 adoring men.
It makes me uneasy.
Well, then, why don't we invite Jean Stanley?
The lady writer?
Yes, with the horn-rimmed glasses, flat shoes, and an abiding belief in Zen Buddhism. She shouldn't give you much competition.
I'm not worried about competition. Jason thinks I have a mind, even if you don't.
Oh, he does he? Well, that's par for old Jason. He always did like my taste in women.
He says I'm unlike any woman you ever went with.
That's right. You're also the only woman I ever married.
Don't muff my hair, you beast. You're such an animal.
And aren't you glad?
I suppose so. Only, somehow, sometimes I don't feel married to you.
Why?
Why, you're so self-sufficient. You don't need me. You don't need anyone.
Oh, yes, I do. I need you very much. Well, who'd take care of me? Send out my laundry, defrost my dinner.
You're not being serious.
Oh, but I am.
You can hire someone to do all that.
As beautiful as you. I couldn't afford it.
Mark, did it ever once occur to you that I have ideas, that I have thoughts, that I'm interested in things?
Of course. Haven't I heard you and Jason ramble on far into the night about Freud, Jung, Marx, Engels, and the plight of the Navajo Indians?
Jason understands me. He likes the way my mind works.
Oh?
But he ought to have a girlfriend of his own. Now, will you please try to get him someone for tonight?
From the way you talk about old Jason, I think I'm the guy who needs a girlfriend. We were so civilized, we budding intellectuals, so sophisticated, so sure of ourselves. We shared each other. If Mary's ballet class or her mosaics or her lute lessons conflicted with the opening of an art exhibit, Jason and I would gaily go off together to view the paintings. If something kept me from attending an opera or a ballet, Mary never missed it. There was always Jason to escort her. But last summer, my work began to pile up. And every time there was an attraction at the Greek Theater or an especially interesting concert at the Hollywood Bowl, I was stuck with a script to finish. I was really grateful for Jason then. He relieved me of my guilt about not entertaining my beautiful wife. Until one night, I discovered that it was he who owed me a debt of gratitude.
Oh, why, hello, darling. You still up?
Apparently. Have you any idea what time it is?
No, not the slightest.
It's nearly 2:30, and why are you in your bare feet?
Oh, Mark, we had such a silly, wonderful time.
Well, suppose you tell me about it.
Well, the concert turned out to be never-ending dull, and those seats in the bowl are so hard. Finally, Jason suggested we take a ride down to the beach.
Is that why sand is dripping from your skirt?
Is it? Oh, well, you see, I've been swimming.
Swimming? In what?
In the ocean.
I mean, what did you swim in? What did you wear?
Nothing, Mark. I just went swimming in the moonlight.
I see. Do you realize that it's 3.5 hours since that concert ended? Do you realize I've been going nearly crazy with worry that I was just about to start calling the police and the hospitals when you float in off Cloud 8 and calmly announced that you've been swimming in the nude?
I didn't say I'd been swimming in the nude. I said I'd been swimming in the moonlight. Mark, stop looking at me that way.
What way?
Like I was some broad.
Well, aren't you?
No.
Apparently Jason thinks so.
It's late, Mark, and I'm tired and suddenly very cold. Now, please let me by. I want to take a hot shower.
It was as much my fault as it was hers. It wouldn't have happened if I hadn't thrown them together. So after that, I paid more attention to my homework, and the midnight swim was forgotten by tacit agreement. And by tacit agreement, we saw less and less of Jason. Mary satisfied my craving for beauty, and for the rest, I had my work. I got very busy on a new show I dreamed up based upon police files. I wish now I'd never thought of the idea. Part of the job was to ride the prowl cars for background color. And the second night out, we were cruising around the twisting streets in the Hollywood Hills. This looks like El Dorado Drive.
Yeah, that's right, Mr. Brady.
Friend of mine lives along in here, just around this bend.
That his house we're coming to?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, you better tell him to park his car closer to the curb or I'll leave him a ticket.
Yeah. Only that isn't his car. It was Mary's car, cozily parked in front of Jason's house. Sure, why not? She knew I'd be gone till past midnight, riding a prowl car. only she had no way of knowing where it would be prowling. Of course, she was already in bed when I got home, but I wanted to give her every chance.
Oh, I was sound asleep, darling. Did you have an interesting evening?
Not very. Not much action. What did you do?
Oh, nothing much. Looked at TV for a while. Tried to read Dr. Zhivago again, but I couldn't make anything more out of it the second time than I did the first. Come to bed, darling. I'm sleepy.
That's the way it was. Every night that I rode the prowl cars, I asked the sergeant to swing by El Dorado Drive, and it was always there. Mary's little Volkswagen parked in front of Jason's house. And every night when I got home, the same evasive answers. Why didn't I put my foot down? I was afraid, that's why. Afraid of losing Mary. I needed her. She was the most beautiful woman I had ever seen. My ego needed her. She was a bright adornment, a mark of success. And if I lost her, I felt I, too, would be lost. Sergeant, I wonder if we could swing by El Dorado Drive tonight?
Again?
If you don't mind.
Well, I don't mind. It's in our area. But I don't get it. You, checking up on your friend?
No. My wife. That Volkswagen belongs to her.
Oh, I see. Now, look, Mr. Brady, you say the word, we can make an awful lot of trouble for that guy.
It's awfully kind of you, Sergeant.
Oh, I'm serious.
I'm sure you are. Only it's not your problem. It's mine.
You stay out of it. Let us handle it.
No, thank you, Sergeant. That would be too easy. If anything's to be done about it, I'm going to have to do it myself. So here I sit, waiting to murder Jason. I phoned him a while ago and told him we had to straighten this thing out immediately. He said he'd be right over. I know him so well I could write the next scene before it happens. He'll walk in, suave, self-contained, every handsome inch a pony. If I get angry, if I threaten him, he'll make his grandstand play with that ridiculous pearl-handled automatic which he carries unloaded in his car. He's pulled it before. It's always worked before on irate husbands. He's boasted to me about it, how they chicken out in front of that empty gun. But this time it won't work. This irate husband isn't going to chicken out. He's going to shoot it out. This irate husband has a gun, too, and he's going to use it in self-defense. There he is now, coming up the walk. Now he's at the door. Come on in, Jason. The door's unlocked.
In a moment, we continue with the second act of Suspense.
How long has it been since you've cleaned out your bookshelves? Maybe it's time you took a look at the books you own. While you're cleaning and looking, you can be performing a valuable service to your country. The United States wants books, lots of them, to send to interested students and readers abroad. Good books are needed to combat the flood of literature being circulated in free countries by the Russians and Chinese communists. Each year, the Russians alone publish and distribute well over 100 million volumes of all kinds. But each volume is a messenger of mischief, full of propaganda and lies. These books are sold at ridiculously low prices or given away free. You can help counteract communist propaganda with unneeded books now on your bookshelves. Most desirable are literary classics, new or old. Up-to-date American histories and geographies. All books should be in hard bindings and in good condition. Send them to Books from America, Box 1960, Washington 13, D.C.
And now, starring Miss Marie Windsor, Act 2 of Script by Mark Brady.
I am compelled to finish Mark's script. Since he saw fit to write it as an explanation and a justification for murder, I feel I must complete it as a vindication of myself and a requiem for Mark. Yes, Mark is dead. Jason shot him in self-defense. That's what the coroner's jury called it. Self-defense. And now I must defend myself from the things Mark thought about me. I was innocent. That night on the beach, I was innocent. Oh, Jason, isn't it beautiful?
Unto thy very feet, bright damosel, the westering moon this night has flung his carpet bright.
How lovely. Who wrote that?
I did, just now.
I know. Let's go swimming.
Why not?
I would if I brought a suit.
What difference does that make?
None, I suppose, really, only...
You worried about what people will say? Why, there isn't anybody within 5 miles of this cove. Go ahead.
All right. You can undress behind that rock.
Oh, not me. That water looks too cold.
Oh, come on, Jason.
I'll watch.
You will not.
I mean after you're in the water.
Well, all right. Now turn your back and close your eyes and don't open them until I tell you to. Jason was right. It was cold. But it was wonderful and strange and terribly exciting. And it was over all too soon.
Like Botticelli's Venus rising from the sea.
What did you say?
Like Botticelli's Venus rising from the sea.
You peep.
Man can be tempted only so far.
Oh, look, my skirt's all full of sand.
What did you expect?
You can turn around now.
Oh, a naiad glittering with moonlight. A sea nymph crowned with cockle shells and with a kirtle of kelp begirt. Oh, lovely Mary, make me immortal with a kiss.
Oh, come on, Jason.
And doth not the moon make lunatics of us all?
Stop it, Jason. I'm Mark's wife. And you're his best friend, remember?
Yes, I'm trying not to.
Well, save the soft sell for somebody else's wife. I'm not buying any. Now, come on, let's go home. That's all there was to it. Except I caught a cold. Mark never mentioned it again after that night. It was as though he didn't care. As though he wanted me to be with Jason. And he got so busy with his new show and riding the police cars at night. Well, what did he expect me to do? Sit home and knit? Jason was more interesting than a night alone with the TV. And I wasn't taking anything away from Mark. I was innocent. I couldn't help the way Jason felt. I didn't know that it would get out of hand.
So, my beautiful goddess, that's how it is. I am hopelessly in love with you.
What are you going to do about it?
Have it out with Mark.
Oh, no, Jason, you can't do that.
Why not?
Mark's got a gun now.
Well, what of it?
He's been practicing at the police pistol range. He keeps boasting to me about how good he's getting. Almost as if he were threatening.
Oh, now, listen, my dear. We're all three of us civilized human beings, and I think Mark and I can solve this problem without bloodshed.
I'm afraid. I wouldn't want anything to happen to either of you.
Now, you listen to me.
Jason, look at the time. I've got to run.
Naturally.
I'll call you tomorrow, darling, when I find him in alone.
That'll be nice.
Now, honey, don't be that way. You know I've got to go. Jason.
What?
Look out there in the street.
Now, what is it?
A police car driving by. Do you suppose it could...
I haven't the slightest idea.
Well, aren't you worried? If Mark found out...
I think it's time he did.
As always, I was in bed and pretending to be asleep when Mark came home. He didn't say anything, and I couldn't tell if he'd been in the police car that drove by Jason's house. But I didn't worry too much, because before I went to bed, I had taken all the bullets out of his gun.
In a moment, we continue with the third act of Suspense.
Be sociable, look smart, keep up to date with Pepsi, drink light, refreshing Pepsi, stay young and fair and debonair, be sociable, have a Pepsi.
When friends drop in, let your hospitality show you're sociable in the modern manner. Pepsi, you know, is the favorite of the smart and young at heart.
Be sociable, look smart, keep up to date with Pepsi, drink light, refreshing Pepsi, stay young and fair and debonair, be sociable, have a Pepsi.
Have you tried a Pepsi lately?
And now, starring Miss Marie Windsor, Act 3 of Script by Mark Brady.
Mark's script deserves a better end than Mary has given it. A truer end. An ending on a high note of tragedy. For tragic indeed it is. What Mary has carefully omitted in her attempt to lay the blame for Mark's murder on me is what happened the next morning when I was awakened by a frantic pounding on the door and opened it to admit a Mary on the edge of hysteria.
Oh, Jason. Mark knows all about it.
That's good. I'm glad.
And he's going to kill you.
Oh, now, that does not sound like Mark.
You don't know. He's got that police gun. And he's acting like a crazy man. He threatened me with it. I ran out of the house. Oh, Jason, I'm so afraid.
Now, Mary, get hold of yourself.
But what are we going to do?
Well, first, we're going to have a cup of coffee. I can never think in the morning until I've had a cup.
That's him.
Murder by telephone? Well, that's a safe way. Hello? Oh, good morning, Mark. Yes. Yes? I see. Well, will you give me time to scrape my face and put on a pair of slacks? Say an hour? Okay. See you.
You're not going over there.
Why not?
He'll kill you.
He didn't sound as though he were contemplating murder. He was very calm. He said he wanted to talk to me.
He won't talk. He'll shoot first, and then it'll be too late to talk. Do you have a gun?
Yes. That little pearl-handled automatic.
Is it loaded?
Of course not.
Well, load it, darling. And promise me you'll use it if you have to.
Well, a woman as beautiful as Mary can be pretty persuasive. And a man would have to be made of more Spartan stuff than I to refuse her when she mixes warm tears of terror and concern with her other rich endowments. I loaded the gun. I went to Mark's apartment to find that Mary's concern was not overstated. As I walked in, he swung the police gun at me and pulled the trigger. I fired, and Mark dropped dead. I didn't know his gun was empty. Now I know he didn't know it was empty. And now I know who really murdered him. Beautiful, beautiful Mary. The kind of woman men will always kill for. It's almost dinner time. She wasn't back yet from a luncheon date with a girlfriend, she said, but I rather imagine it was with the young attorney who represented me at the inquest. Very bright chap with a mind quite different from Mark's or mine. I'm sure Mary is having fun picking it. But I'm not making any effort to confirm my suspicions. I'll know soon enough. Only this time I'll be sure Mary doesn't unload my gun. Well, here it is. Mark Brady's last script. And in many respects, his best. At least I hope they'll agree down at the studio.
Suspense, in which Marie Windsor starred in William N. Robeson's production of Script by Mark Brady, written by Celeste Bolus and Mr. Robeson. In a moment, the names of our supporting players and a word about next week's story of Suspense.
Hey, Dad, did you check your car filters today?
No, son, I didn't. Why?
Because it might pay you $1,000.
$1,000 for a car filter?
That's right, folks. You may have a filter under the hood of your car worth $1,000 and not even know it. A Fram filter worth 1,000 silver dollars. A regular filter change is important to today's cars. So important that Fram Corporation is paying $60,000 to get you to check your filters now. Last year, in preparation for Fram's silver anniversary, 10,000 secretly numbered Fram filter cartridges were distributed all over the United States and installed in cars during regular servicing. These filters are worth from $1 to $1,000. You may have one in your car right now and not even know it. Check your oil filter and air filter now. If there's a specially numbered Fram filter in your car, you will win up to 1,000 silver dollars, and your dealer will win the same amount. Get in on Fram's big silver treasure hunt. Check your car filters now.
Supporting Marie Windsor in Script by Mark Brady were Vic Perrin, Ben Wright, and Sam Pierce. Listen. Listen again next week when we return with John McIntyre in John, Barby and Son. Another tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
The latest news follows, then Have Gun Will Travel on the CBS Radio Network.
Suspense. And the producer of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, the master of mystery and adventure, William N. Robeson.
In the most banal cliche, in the most tiresome platitude, there is a hard core of truth. The sickening, saccharine cult of momism is built upon the solid, eternal fact that there is no substitute for a mother. Fathers just aren't capable of coping with the problems which mothers daily face and solve. Our story concerns one such a father, and a problem much, much too big for him. Listen then as Mr. John McIntyre stars in John Barby and Son, which begins in just a moment.
A famous poet once said, "No man is an island." Today, that observation is more applicable than ever. Important changes in our society, the constant fluctuations in our economy, new political and military developments in our own country and abroad, these matters affect each of us. One of the most important functions of CBS Radio is to keep you informed. Each weeknight, for example, CBS Radio brings you Edward R. Murrow and Lowell Thomas. Mr. Murrow's penetrating commentary continues to give America a view in depth of world happenings. Lowell Thomas has come to know thousands of people and places the world over as he brings human interest to the day's news events. In another field, CBS newsman and economic observer Alan Jackson brings you a capsule summary of each weekday's business news. News commentary by Edward R. Murrow and Lowell Thomas, business news from Alan Jackson, 3 of the informative CBS radio broadcasts each weeknight over most of these same stations, designed to make your picture of the day's events clear and complete.
And now, John Barby and Son, starring Mr. John McIntyre. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
I'm afraid, Mary. For the first time since you've been gone, I'm afraid. I'm going to have to break my promise. I've tried. I've kept him out of sight like you told me to. I did just like you used to do when you were here, Mary. But it was the kitten that wandered onto the place today. Carl didn't mean no harm. What he did, he didn't mean to do. It was just that he'd never held one in his arms before. And now they're coming for him tonight from the home. If I could somehow just put him off for one more night. Oh, Mary, it would be easier if you were here. Carl, I told you to stay in your room.
You hear that? They've come for you. Now go back to your room and hide yourself.
One moment.
You're to stay in your room and not make a sound. You're to be very quiet. Do you understand? Now, if you do as I say, I might be able to keep you here one more night.
Coming. Yes?
Mr. Barby?
Yes.
I'm Mr. Wilk from the home. I've come for your son.
Well, I know, but the boy's ill.
Oh, we'll take good care of him, far better than you can here.
But I'm
alone.
afraid it's something contagious. He's broke out in a rash.
Well, are you sure?
Yes, he's got some sort of red spots all over him.
Oh. Well, I wouldn't want to run the risk of infection. I mean, for the others at the home, of course.
Of course, sir. Well, that's what I mean, Mr. Wilk.
Yeah, well, perhaps I better have a look at him.
Well, please, Mr. Wilk, the boy's asleep.
Well, we'll have to wake him then.
No, you don't understand, Mr. Wilk. He's miserable since he knows he has to go. Don't wake him.
Well, you have my sympathy, Mr. Barby, but I have my orders.
Well, you could bring a doctor the first thing in the morning. Then you'd be sure of no one catching anything from him.
Well, I suppose I could do that. What about the neighbors?
Well, they won't know. They'd never even seen him before today. If it hadn't been for the kitten...
Well, I can't go into that with you now, Mr. Barby. The animal is dead. However, under the circumstances, it might be better if I brought the doctor back with me in the morning.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Wilk. Thank you.
But the boy is not to leave the house. Now, you understand?
Yes.
Uh-huh. All right, we'll be here at 9 sharp in the morning. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Carl. It's all right, Carl. You can stay one more night.
I promised your mother that I'd never let them take you away. That I'd do anything before I let them do that. I know what happens to them at that home. I've seen them after they've been there a while.
He'd be better off. I know what we'll do, Carl. We'll go away. Tonight. Just you and me. We'll go so far away they'll never find us. Here comes a truck, Carl. Listen carefully. You're to hide in the bushes by the side of the road here. I'm going to flag him. Now, if he stops to pick me up, you're to climb in the back of the truck without him seeing you. You're not to make a sound. You're not to try to say anything, and stay there until I call to you to get out. Do you understand? Now, get in the bushes.
Hello, senor. You have some trouble?
Could you give me a ride to San Diego?
Oh, sure. Come on, get in.
Thank you. Just a moment.
What's the matter? Something is wrong?
My glasses. I seem to have lost my glasses. Had them a minute ago. I'll just look around back here.
You need a flashlight?
No, never mind. Get in the back of the truck, Carl. That's a good boy. I found him.
To tell the truth, senor, I am not allowed to pick up anybody, but it's so late and you're a little,
A little older than most you see on the highway?
Oh, no, I don't mean that. But what's the matter? You have a car trouble?
I don't have a car.
You hear that noise?
What was that?
Oh, that's my kitten.
Kitten?
See, I picked him up in San Pedro. He's a cute little kitten. I got a box all fixed up for him in the back of the truck.
A kitten?
What's the matter?
Well, my billfold, I seem to have lost it.
You lose it? When did that happen?
Well, I don't know. I guess back where I dropped my glasses, I had it then. If you just let me out here, I'll catch another ride back.
Sure. I'm sorry, senor. If I was on my own time, I would take you back.
Well, no, thank you very much. It'll be all right.
But good luck. I hope you find it.
Oh, just a moment. The back end of your truck's open.
Oh, hey, better fix it.
No, don't get out. I'll close it for you.
Oh, gracias, senor.
Get out, Carl. Run back down the road. Yeah, it's all right now. You can drive on.
How's the kitten?
Well, he's all right. You can drive on now.
Well, muchas gracias. Hasta la vista, senor.
Carl, you don't have to hide anymore. He's gone now. You're a good boy, Carl. You did just like I told you to. And you didn't touch the kitten at all, did you?
In a moment, we continue with the second act of Suspense.
I've used to medium-priced cars, but most of them raise prices way up for $59. Now what do I do?
Come test our best, the Ambassador V8 by Rambler, the luxury car that did not raise prices.
I've always bought medium-priced cars, but now they're just too long to handle, too hard to park, too big for my garage.
Come test our best, the luxurious Ambassador. So compact, it outturns, outhandles, and out-economizes other medium-priced cars.
Just what is the Ambassador?
It's the compact luxury car, finest product of American Motors. Ambassador has generous shoulder room, hat room, and leg room, and no awkward hump in the middle of the floor. Ambassador offers personalized luxury, individual front seats that adjust to each person's exact leg room, adjustable headrests, 270 V8 horsepower, best power-to-weight ratio in the medium-priced field, air coil ride. It's the finest car ever priced so close to the lowest. Come test our best, the luxurious Ambassador V8 at Rambler dealers.
And now, starring Mr. John McIntyre, Act 2 of John, Barby and Son.
Well, we made San Diego after all, didn't we, Carl? Now we'll get a room and get some rest. Well, this looks like a nice place. But I'd better go in alone. It wouldn't be good for anybody to see us together. You wait here on this bench. But you're not to talk to anyone, I understand. No one.
Good evening.
I'd like to have a room, please.
You're lucky. I've got just one single left.
You haven't a double?
No, I'm sorry I haven't. Aren't you alone?
Well, I am, but I prefer a double bed.
Well, I'm afraid you're going to have trouble finding any kind of a room in San Diego tonight. There's a big convention in town. We're lucky to have this one.
All right, I'll take it. I'll have to.
Yeah, well, sign here, please. It's not really a small bed. It's 3/4 size. Yeah, here's your key.
Oh, that's fine. Thank you. Oh, could you tell me, is it on the ground floor?
Well, no, it isn't. Had you wanted it on the ground floor?
Yes, you see, I'm a little nervous about fires.
Oh, well, there's a fire escape just down the hall from you.
Well, there is? Well, then it'll be all right then. I've got to get... I'm going out for a minute. I'll be right back. Thank you.
I'm right behind you, Carl. And nothing to be afraid of. You've never been on a fire escape before, have you? Fun, isn't it? It's only a little ways now. Here, take my arm. Here we are. Now, you stay back until I look in the window first. See if anyone's in the hallway. It's all right. Now, come on, I'll help you through. Someone's coming. Stay out there. No, Carl, stay out there on the fire escape. Don't make a sound.
Oh, Mr. Wilson.
Oh, hello.
Well, aren't you in the wrong end of the hallway?
Well, yes.
Can't you find your room?
Well, yes, but I was just looking around.
Oh, the fire escape.
Yes.
I see. You wanted to try it out, huh?
Well, I am a little nervous.
Yes, well, I understand. Would you like me to show you how to get out on it?
No, thank you. I've been out there already.
You have? Well, you feel better about it then, huh?
Yes, thank you.
Well, is there anything else I can do for you?
No, I'll be getting to my room now.
I guess we better close this window. That fog's getting pretty thick.
I'll close it.
Well, good night, Mr. Wilson. I hope you sleep well.
Good night.
It's all right. Come on, Carl. Careful now. Follow me quickly. You hungry, Carl? I'll get us something to eat. Then we'll get a good night's rest.
Office.
This is Mr. Wilson in 314.
Yes, Mr. Wilson.
Could you send up some food?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Wilson, but room service is closed.
Oh, I see. Thank you.
You're welcome. Can you imagine that, Harry? That Mr. Wilson must think he's in the Waldorf. Room service at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, he's a strange one. I found him upstairs in the hallway trying out the fire escape.
When?
A couple of minutes ago.
Well, how'd he get up the stairs? He didn't come through the lobby.
He didn't?
No, I'd have seen him.
Well, then he must have gone up by the fire escape.
Do you suppose he's got someone up there with him?
Well, it's happened before, but not if I know anything about it. I'm going to go... Oh, Mr. Wilson, you going out again?
Yes, to get something to eat.
Oh, well, have a nice dinner.
Thank you.
Miss White, have the boy take the board. Let you and I go upstairs. We'll have a look around while he's gone.
Frank.
Yes, ma'am.
You saw the old man that just went out the door?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, we're going up to his room. If he comes back before we return, ring twice to warn us.
Yes, ma'am.
Why are you knocking?
I have a feeling someone's in there.
Well, if there is, they're not coming to the door. Not if he sneaked them into the hotel.
I suppose you're right. Guess I'd better unlock it. Nothing unusual here.
Look at this bundle.
What do you mean?
And this boy's cap.
Well, it might be his.
He wasn't wearing a cap when he came in, and he wasn't carrying a bundle.
No, he wasn't.
I'll look in the closet. That's Frank.
The old boy couldn't have eaten that fast.
Maybe Frank's made a mistake. I'll see. Yes, Frank? All right, we'll get out of here. He says he's carrying a package. Probably brought something back to eat here in the room.
Oh, come on, Miss White. We better get out of here.
We better go down the stairs. He'll probably be coming up in the elevator.
Miss White.
What's the matter?
You've walked off with the cap.
Oh, goodness, I have. I didn't realize. Well, what do we do? Shall I go back?
No, I don't think you'd better. He'll be up there any minute.
Well, maybe he won't miss it, and we can put it back if he goes out again.
Yeah. Come on.
Carl, where are you? What are you doing in the closet, Carl? Was somebody here? Somebody has been here. Where's your cap that was on the bed? Who was here?
Good evening. Like to see the manager, please?
Oh, well, he's not in. I'm in charge. Could I help you?
Yes, I'm Detective Bowen. Here's my identification.
Oh, yes.
We're checking hotels in the vicinity for a certain John Barby. Have you anyone registered by that name?
No, I don't believe I have. What kind of a looking man is he?
Well, he's an older man, about his 50s. He's...
Well, there's an old guy checked in about an hour ago, but he's registered under the name of Wilson. Yeah, here it is, John Wilson. He might be the one you're looking for. I have a hunch he is.
Is he in his room now?
Why, yes, he went up a short time ago.
I'd like to go up. What's the room number, please?
314. Is it something serious?
Yes. Murder.
In a moment, we continue with the third act of Suspense.
Sociable, up-to-date, debonair.
What's this, a new word game?
No, I'm just mentioning the qualities that people admire in other people.
Oh, I see. If you're sociable, up-to-date, and what was that other word, debonair?
Yes, debonair. But listen to it this way. Be sociable, look smart, keep up to date with Pepsi, drink light, refreshing Pepsi, stay young and fair and debonair, be sociable, have a Pepsi.
Notice how many of your friends are serving Pepsi-Cola these days. It's the up-to-date refreshment.
Be sociable, serve Pepsi.
And now, starring Mr. John McIntyre, Act 3 of John Barby and Son.
Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson, I have another room I think you'd be interested in seeing. I don't think anyone's in there.
You have a pass key?
Yeah.
All right, open the door.
Yeah, buddy.
It's all right. I have a gun. I'll stand back out of sight.
There's no one here.
Now look back at that door.
No. Oh, here, maybe the closet. No, nobody here. Say, he must have had somebody with him after all.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, he registered alone, but the way he was acting, I suspected there was someone with him. Look on the dresser there. 2 bottles of milk, 2 sandwiches.
They haven't been touched either. He must have left here in a hurry. Is there a fire escape on this floor?
Yeah, there is. Matter of fact, I found him looking it over right after he moved in.
All right, come on, let's have a look at it.
Yeah, the window's open. Must have gone out that way.
Let's have a look outside. There's no one down below. You must have just missed him.
Look, Mr. Bowen.
Where?
Somebody up there above. Someone's climbing onto the roof from the fire escape.
All right, that's him. Come on.
Nice, isn't it, Carl? Up here in the fog. Quiet and soft like it'll be for us forever. Carl, you understand if they catch up with us, it means you'll have to go back to the home, don't you? We promised your mother we wouldn't let that happen, and we're not going to. It isn't going to hurt much, Carl. It'll be quick.
Mr. Barby! Mr. Barby, don't!
Stay where you are. This is my affair.
Mr. Barby, that isn't going to do anybody any good. Now, just listen to me 1 minute.
If you come a step closer...
I won't. Now, listen to me.
What do you want?
Mr. Barby, don't jump. Come back with me. They'll go easy on you.
You'll not take him to the home. I know what happens to them there.
Mr. Barby, you're ill. You don't know what you're doing.
I tell you not to come any closer.
All right. All right, I won't. But listen.
I'll not listen to anything. I know what's best for my boy. I promised his mother. Didn't I, son?
What? Who are you talking to there, Mr. Barby?
Don't pay any attention to them, Carl.
Mr. Barby, there's nobody there with you.
What? What did you say?
I say there's nobody there with you.
No kind of a trick is this?
You're just imagining things.
Is nobody here with me?
No, sir. Your son is dead. And what you're going to do now won't help anything.
My son is here by my side.
No, Mr. Barby. No one's by your side.
You're trying to confuse me to keep me busy talking so that fella can sneak up behind me. Is that it?
Oh, Mr. Barby. Mr. Barby, we're just trying to save your life. Now, come back away from that ledge. Let us talk to you.
No, I've had enough of your tricks. Carl, are you ready? It won't hurt much. Take my hand, son. Take my hand.
No, Mr. Barby, no!
Poor guy. He said he was wanted for murder?
Yeah. Yeah, he killed his son this evening. The authorities are going to take the boy away to a home. I guess his mind just snapped. Well, it's probably better this way. Because he thought the boy was with him. Right to the end.
Suspense, in which John McIntyre starred in William N. Robeson's production of John Barby and Son, written by Mel Donnelly. In a moment, the names of our supporting players and a word about next week's story of Suspense.
There goes a treasure car. There goes another. And another. And one of them may be your car. Yes, folks, you may have a Fram treasure hunt filter in your car worth $1,000 and not even know it. A Fram filter worth 1,000 silver dollars. A filter change is important to today's cars, so important that Fram Corporation, in conjunction with its silver anniversary, is paying $60,000 in cash to get you to check your filters now. Last year, 10,000 secretly numbered Fram filters were distributed all over the United States and installed in cars during regular servicing. These filters are worth from $1 to $1,000. You may have one in your car and not even know it. A Fram filter worth 1,000 silver dollars. Check your oil filter and air filter now. If there's a specially numbered Fram filter in your car, you will win up to 1,000 silver dollars, and your dealer will win the same amount. Get in on Fram's Big Silver Treasure Hunt. Check your car filters now.
Supporting John McIntyre and John Barby and Son were Ellen Morgan, Carl Swenson, Sam Pierce, and Jack Crucian. Listen. Listen again next week when we return with another tale well calculated to keep you in suspense. Suspense. And the producer of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, the master of mystery and adventure, William N. Robeson.
Criminologists have long seen the connection between heat, humidity, and murder. They can tell you the exact hour of the exact summer day when the most people are statistically liable to flip their lids. However, in the little prairie town where our story occurs, other factors further help foster violence. The heat, of course, but also ignorance and boredom and a woman. Listen then as Mr. Van Heflin stars in Too Hot to Live, which begins in just a moment.
How long has it been since you've cleaned out your bookshelves? Maybe it's time you took a look at the books you own. While you're cleaning and looking, you can be performing a valuable service to your country. The United States wants books, lots of them, to send to interested students and readers abroad. Good books are needed to combat the flood of literature being circulated in free countries by the Russians and Chinese communists. Each year, the Russians alone publish and distribute well over 100 million volumes of all kinds. But each volume is a messenger of mischief, full of propaganda and lies about America. These books are sold at ridiculously low prices or given away free. You can help counteract communist propaganda with unneeded books. Most desirable are literary classics, new or old, up-to-date American histories and geographies. Send all books to Books from America, Box 1960, Washington 13, D.C. That address again is Books from America, Box 1960, Washington 13, D.C.
And now, Too Hot to Live, starring Mr. Van Heflin. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
The sun is starting to pucker the tar road leading into Marcus Junction. Sweat is beginning to streak through my shirt. My shoes are sucking tar every time I lift them. Sole of one boot busts loose and starts flapping against the road. That's bad. A drifter needs a good pair of shoes, and I'm on the drift. Marcus Junction, no different than 1,000 others like it. About a mile square of small buildings all pasted together. I walk a couple of blocks without finding a shoemaker. Town's almost empty this Saturday morning, except for a man walking my way. A big man, really big. Both ways, big high and big wide. The last man I want to see. Pinned on his sweat-stained shirt is a big gold star with the word sheriff, glinting in the sun.
Good morning, son. My name's Benjamin Maxwell.
Good morning, Mr. Maxwell.
Benjamin, son. Call me Benjamin. That's the handle that shakes this pump. What's yours, boy?
Jeff Casey.
That's a good name. What brings you to our town, Jeff?
Oh, well, I'm just passing through. I wonder where I could get this shoe fixed.
Well, pretty socks.
Yeah. But who'll take care of the shoe?
Well, I'm going down to Stacy's for a cup of coffee. Shoe fixer's right next door. Come along, Jeff.
Thank you.
Say, how do you like this weather? If it gets any warmer, it'll be almost too hot to live. In a manner of speaking, you understand?
Yeah, I understand.
Well, here's the shoe repair. I'll be next door. Leave your shoes and waddle in on them pretty socks of yours. I'll buy you a cup of coffee.
The shoemaker tells me that my shoes will take a couple of hours, so I start next door to join Benjamin. I don't know, maybe I'm feeling pretty good, but I pull an old schoolboy trick. I take off my socks, roll them up, and throw them on the counter with my shoes. Then I walk outside to feel the cool, shaded pavement prickle up through the bottom of my bare feet. Through the window next door, I see 4 people in the restaurant. Benjamin waits for me to come in. Inside the entrance, a blonde waitress is arguing with a skinny old man in faded Levi's. The moon-faced short-order cook is soaking in every word of the argument.
Oh, Jefferson.
Oh, hi, Benjamin. Well, I come for that coffee.
In a minute. Rachel's about said her piece.
Now find yourself a street corner and get it out of your system.
Oh, you are bad beyond all saving.
See you around, Pop. I don't hope.
That girl plays rough.
That's just Rachel's way, Jefferson. I see you lean to bare feet.
Yeah.
Hey, what's yours, good looking?
Coffee, please, black.
Coffee barefoot. Like you, handsome. Oh, your friend's real pretty, Benjamin.
You think everybody's pretty, Rachel.
But he's a doll. Be around long, handsome?
Just long enough to get my shoes fixed.
Oh, too bad you ain't sticking around. New faces are scarce around here. Especially one like yours.
Well, I've got some law to enforce. Now, you behave yourself, Rachel.
You know it. Tell me what it's like in the world outside, handsome.
Hey, Rachel, why don't you put up some more coffee?
Tend your bacon, lover. I got company.
Is that your boyfriend?
Lover boy there? Oh, no, that's Kenny. He's keeping company with a hot grill.
You oughtn't to talk about me like that, Rachel. It ain't very nice.
Then don't bother me while I'm with my friends. Hey, handsome, I'm off about now. Let's you and me go out to the carnival for a couple of hours, huh?
You let her alone. Don't you go with her, you hear?
Yeah, I heard, Kenny. Well, I'd like to, Rachel, but how do I go barefoot?
Forgot.
You got any other ideas?
Yeah, matter of fact. I live upstairs over this greasy spoon. Let's go up and mix ourselves something cool while we wait for your shoes.
You can't do that. It ain't nice. It don't look right.
Let's go, Rachel.
No, you can't. I'll stop you. I'll come up there after you.
You do, and I'll barbecue you on your own grill.
In a moment, we continue with the second act of Suspense.
1, 2. It's a 1-2 victory for Rambler in the Mobile Gas Economy Run in Compact Car Class A. A Rambler American and a Rambler 6 finished first and second. Both Ramblers led all other cars in the Mobile Gas Economy Run. Rambler's incredible records, 25.29 and 22.96 miles per gallon with automatic transmission. A brilliant victory in the toughest, longest Mobile Gas Economy Run of all. 1,898 rugged miles from Los Angeles to Kansas City, across deserts, up mountains, through congested city traffic. Already the holder of the all-time post-war records for the Mobile Gas Economy Run, Rambler proves once again that it is indeed America's leader in gas economy. Of course, Rambler with standard or overdrive transmission has even greater fuel economy. You save more on upkeep, on insurance, on depreciation, because Rambler has highest resale value of all low-priced cars. Go Rambler, the proved economy king at Rambler dealers.
And now, starring Mr. Van Heflin, Act 2 of Too Hot to Live.
Be it ever so humble, this is home.
Yeah, it's a little small, ain't it? Let's kick out a wall or something.
The windows don't help much, but the drinks will.
Hey, why do you have to lean into the kitchen? Why don't you just walk in?
Fresh varnish on the floor. The heat don't let it dry. Long reach for long drink.
Well, it's a long day.
Here you go, handsome.
Hey, don't you believe in mixing anything with your drinks?
What for? The cubes will melt. What do we drink to, handsome?
The heat.
The heat. Cools you off, don't it?
It burns its way down and explodes in my stomach. My pores open and the perspiration oozes out. It goes down fast, and then another and another. I'm going numb. The heat, no food. Everything's moving around and around, slow and then faster and faster. And then the black rolls in, soft, hot blackness. And I pass out.
All right, come on. I've got something to show you.
Hey, let me alone.
Over there, in the corner of the kitchen.
Hey, take your hands off me.
See her? That's how I found her. You beside her and your filthy hands still tied around her throat. You killed her. You killed Rachel.
It doesn't make any kind of sense. The bathroom door is open. I stagger toward it, stepping on broken glass. Pain, stinging. Remembering bare feet. The open shower waiting for me. I turned the handle of cold water and half threw myself into the shock of the stream. I'm coming out of it. Coming to. What did he... He said I'd killed her.
Hey, sir! Benjamin! Hey, Benjamin, come up here! I got a dirty killer for you.
Kenny shouted it out of the window to Benjamin. I gotta get away. I got to think. What happened? What? I get through the bathroom window. My feet hit the scalding tar of the shed roof. I scramble across it, drop to the street. Narrow alley, and I'm running down it. I turn the corner and run right into Benjamin.
All right, Jefferson. Why'd you do it, son?
I didn't kill her, Benjamin. I don't remember, but
You don't sound sure, Jefferson. Don't you know?
We were drinking. I blacked out.
Drunk? Unconscious? You could still move around. You could have done what was done in that apartment.
No, but I couldn't. Why would I want to do that?
Well, maybe you played too rough. Maybe she tried to stop you, cut you with a knife. Why'd you run away?
Well, I was scared. Kenny said that my hands were around her throat.
Well, I'll have to lock you up. I'll go back and have a good look around. Maybe I'll find something.
And if you don't?
Rachel's dead, Jefferson. Somebody killed her.
You try to hang me. Why can't I remember what happened, what led to this? Sweat's rolling down Benjamin's forehead, collecting along the top of his glasses, sliding into his eyes. They smart and snap shut. I slap at his glasses, knocking them off his face, and grab for his gun. His arm comes down fast, hard, chopping at my hand, numbing my arm, and the gun falls to the road. I run, hobbling up and down, lopsided.
Jefferson! Come back here! You can't get far! Jefferson! You'll never get away from me!
In a moment, we continue with the third act of Suspense.
Be sociable, look smart, keep up to date with Pepsi, drink light, refreshing Pepsi, stay young and fair and debonair, be sociable, have a Pepsi.
When friends drop in, let your hospitality show you're sociable in the modern manner. Pepsi, you know, is the favorite of the smart and young at heart.
Be sociable, look smart, keep up to date with Pepsi, drink light, refreshing Pepsi, stay young and fair and debonair, be sociable, have a Pepsi.
Have you tried a Pepsi lately?
And now, starring Mr. Van Heflin, Act 3 of Too Hot to Live.
I'm running again down the burning street. Out to the end of town, toward the railroad. I run till my legs slide away from under me, and then crawl, dragging the body that has no feeling, a dead weight that robs my arms of their strength. Finally, steel rails glisten ahead, and I lay sprawled out, heart and lungs going crazy in my body. I can't go any farther. The sun is moving away toward the west now. And I come to, feeling a little better. I know what I have to do now. Find Kenny in one way or another. Force him to tell the truth, because he must be lying. I start back to town. Stepping gently, I make my way through the alley to the restaurant. There's a stranger behind the counter.
Well, howdy.
Hi. Where's everybody?
Well,
Most of them are at the carnival. Some are looking for a killer roaming around.
Oh, yeah, I heard about him. I heard he was picked up a couple of miles out.
Good deal. You know, Rachel worked here.
Yeah, I know. Say, where's Kenny?
Oh, he's out at Clovis' place. Wanted to be the one to tell Rachel's father about, you know.
Oh, yeah, sure. I ought to go out there and pick him up. See, I don't know that place too well. How do I get there?
Well, you just follow the road down about half a mile out of town. Find a dirt cutoff. Can't miss the mailbox.
Thanks.
Say, if you miss him, who'll I say is asking?
Oh, well, just tell him that his cousin Jim was here.
Yeah, well, pleased to have met you. Hey,
you ain't wearing shoes. You're the one. You're the killer.
Run again. Another alley. Blistering pavements, cement ripping my feet. Time is running out. Benjamin know where I'm going. Out on the main highway. Beyond the town now. Another quarter mile. Another 100 yards. At last, the mailbox that says Clovis. And the dirt cutoff. An old two-story farmhouse rises out of the field around me. A big gray barn stands off near the house, and 2 old cars are sitting empty behind it. And he's got to come out to one of them. I'll wait. Time still running out and away from me. Little shimmering waves of heat rise off the tin bits of the cars. Here he comes, at last. Quiet or I'll break your back.
Oh, no.
I want the truth, Kenny. The truth if I have to kill you for it.
Get off of me.
I didn't kill Rachel, and you know it.
You did.
I didn't.
No.
I didn't.
No.
You killed her, you crazy, jealous.
No.
Yes, you came to check. You came to check and you found us drunk and you got wild. You killed her.
I didn't. I can prove it.
Prove it?
There wasn't 3 minutes between the time I left the restaurant and the time I called Benjamin. Not enough time to get up there, kill her, and bring you around.
3 minutes.
I can prove it. That's all the time. You did it. Your hands were still around her throat when I came in. You killed Rachel.
And there it is. He isn't lying about the 3 minutes. That gloating smirk on his face tells me that. I had killed her. The horror of this afternoon had been for nothing.
Shoot him! Don't just stand there. Shoot. He's the man who killed your daughter.
He stands there watching. A skinny old man in faded Levi's. A double-barrel shotgun's cradled in his arm, but he just looks at me. A wild fire striking out of the black pupils of his eyes.
Shoot him! He killed your daughter.
She was no daughter of mine.
He killed Rachel.
You're her father. I thought that was some kind of a nickname of hers. When she was calling you Pop.
She was born to me, and I named her Rachel from the Bible. But she was the daughter of Satan.
I'm sorry, Mr. Clovis.
Shoot him. Because of him, Rachel is dead.
She turned away from me, but within me the voice was strong. I followed her, begging, in the place where she lived.
I'm sorry, I was drunk. I was crazy.
In that apartment, the stench of drink like an evil cloud. You lying there drunk with the devil's fever.
You were there?
Shut up, you old fool.
And it came to me like a voice from on high. I knew what I must do.
You killed her. It wasn't me, it was you.
Now you did it. You couldn't keep your mouth shut.
You knew he did it, Kenny. You tried to make me believe that I'd been the one. Why?
You and tramps like you, always keeping her from me. You didn't care. You laughed at me, made Rachel laugh at me. I passed the old man when I went up. I knew as soon as I walked into the room.
And you tried to blame this on me.
Why not? It wasn't that old man who killed her. You killed her, and you'll die for it. Give me the gun.
Oh, no, Kenny. Not now.
Turn around, mister. Turn around and see it when it happens.
Pull up your gun, Kenneth.
No.
Get up, Jefferson. We'll go home now.
I never thought I'd be so glad to see you, Benjamin.
If you hadn't been so eager to run, I could have saved your feet a lot of wear. I knew you weren't a murderer, son.
You knew?
I went back to the apartment. The whole story's there in the varnish on the kitchen floor. No bare feet around the body, but lots of hobnailed boot prints. You cut your hand on broken glass in the living room. That's what made it bleed.
And I was running.
Well, you can stop running now, son. Why don't you stay here in town with us? There's lots for you to do.
Thanks. Well, it's been quite a day, Benjamin.
Sure has been a scorcher. Glad to see the sun going down. On a day like this, it's almost too hot to live.
Oh, no, don't say that, Benjamin. It never gets that hot.
Suspense, in which Van Heflin starred in William N. Robeson's production of Too Hot to Live, written by Sam Rolfe. In a moment, the names of our supporting players and a word about next week's story of suspense.
The station to which you're listening right now is an affiliate of the CBS Radio Network. That fact makes several important differences. Take the matter of news. Over this station, you hear frequent reports gathered by the foremost broadcast news organization, CBS News. Reports supplemented by the thoughtful commentary of such distinguished CBS newsmen as Edward R. Murrow, Lowell Thomas, and Eric Severide. In addition, of course, this station provides you with late local news so that you may hear and keep up with what's happening in your own community. You hear top dramatic programs, comedy, variety, and music to fit every mood. In addition, this station provides you with further listening entertainment, courtesy of your favorite local broadcast personalities, plus the cream of today's crop of top songs. Well-balanced, highly listenable broadcast fare can come to you only through teamwork, the kind of teamwork made possible by the combined resources of CBS Radio and this station.
Supporting Van Heflin in Too Hot to Live were Doris Singleton, Barry Kroger, Charles Seal, Barney Phillips, and Norm Alden. Listen again next week when we return with Mr. Jim Backus starring in See How He Runs. Another tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
The latest news follows. Then Have Gun Will Travel on CBS Radio.
Suspense. And the producer of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, the master of mystery and adventure, William N. Robeson.
The radio actor is a very special kind of thespian. He has no assistance in creating illusion. He cannot call upon the magic of makeup nor the protective coloring of costume. He has only his voice and your ears. Yet this is enough for the superb radio artist, and such a one we present tonight.
See How He Runs, starring Mr. Jim Backus. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
The evening paper. Read all about it.
Hey,
evening
Poppy.
paper.
Dime.
Hi, Mr. Barker. Hey, that's a half rock. You got 40 cents change coming.
Poppy, I'll bet you can hear the difference between a $10 and a $20 bill hitting the ground.
To run a newsstand this town, you have to. People just as soon cheat me as anybody else. Being blind don't make me an exception. Here you are, Mr. Barker. That's 40 cents change.
Keep it.
No, I can't do that.
Go on, keep it.
Maybe I could put it on a number for you, Mr. Barker.
You know me, Poppy. Never play the numbers. My sainted mother used to say to me, Ed, you're going to break the law, never play for pennies. Make it pay. See you tomorrow night.
Mr. Barker?
Yeah?
You left your umbrella, Mr. Barker.
What?
Here's your umbrella, Mr. Barker.
What are you talking about? You know I never carry an umbrella.
Here you are, Mr. Barker.
Wait a minute.
Mr. Barker? You all right, Mr. Barker? Who's that? Answer me.
Who's there? Hey, you. You with the tops on your shoes. Come back here. You got the wrong idea. Come back here. Come back.
Give us some names.
You can be a big help to us, Poppy. Boy. Poppy's been blind since he was 14. How am I supposed to tell you who rubs out Big Ed Barker when I can't see them? Think you're nice, young fellas. Let a poor old man go home and get his rest.
All right, Poppy, knock it off.
This isn't a couple of housewives you're trying to set up for a touch. We got your record laying right here on the desk in front of us.
1938, arrested and convicted for petty theft.
1943, arrested and convicted for an attempt to defraud. That was the year you posed as a blinded war veteran.
1949, arrested and...
All right. So I got a record. You want to hang me on it? I served my time. Ain't you guys happy? That's one thing about you cops. A guy tries to go straight, you don't care, but let him make one little mistake and you hound him until the day he dies.
Don't try to paint any pretty pictures for me, Poppy. I know you. People call you the only man born without a conscience. Is that right?
What's the price for fingering a man as big as Barker, Poppy?
Who contacted you, Poppy? Give us a name.
Now, what is all this? All of a sudden, the poor newsy's in charge of who gets rubbed out on his corner. You're the police department. This is your town. You're in charge. It's getting so an honest man is afraid to walk the streets anymore.
Cut it out.
Look, Poppy, Barker was the second syndicate boy to get knocked off in the last month. That means new talent is trying to move in. Carl and I have to know who, Poppy. We have to have names to fit faces. You can help. Well, now, if I knew, I'd tell you. Ed Barker was my friend.
Don't make me laugh. You'd set up your mother for a price. What did you get for Barker?
Somebody contacted you, Poppy. Who?
Come on. You ain't deaf and dumb, too. Give some names, Poppy, some names.
Now, you look, cop. This ain't Joe Citizen you're trying to punch in the back. This is Poppy. I've been in this crummy police station before, and I know my way around. You try to hang anything on me, I'll have my lawyer slap a false arrest on you so fast it'll make your head swim, because you and I both know you don't have enough evidence to make it stick. If you ain't going to charge me, I'm going to go home.
Now, you listen to me, you small-time louse. You don't give orders to me in my police station. You take them. For your information, we shook down that little rat hole you call a new stand and found a fistful of number slips.
That stand was clean.
You only thought it was
you
clean.
Lousy fink. You planted him.
That's
there.
yours, too.
No.
Why, I'm a policeman, then. He'll testify in court.
That stand was clean.
Why? Were you expecting the place to be crawling with cops before the night was over?
I don't touch the numbers. Not since the last time I got busted. I learned my lesson. That's why you send me to jail, ain't it? To learn a lesson?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Okay, Poppy. You can go home now.
What is this?
Take a good look at our little friend here, Al. This is probably the last time we'll see him alive.
What are you talking about?
Word just came over the phone, Poppy. Somebody must have seen you finger Barker. People on the street say that the syndicate's passed a death sentence, and they passed it on you.
No, that's a lie.
Okay, it's a lie.
You guys made it up.
If we made it up, what are your hands shaking for?
It's a straight scoop, Poppy. If you go back out on the street now, you're dead. On the other hand, if you turn state's evidence, we can place you in protective custody.
Yeah, and send me up the river when you're through with me.
That's better than being dead.
Well, is it?
Okay, Poppy, that's all. Get out of here.
Ain't you got no more questions?
Not me.
Ain't you going to hold me for your numbers?
Poppy, you could throw rocks at City Hall right in front of me and I wouldn't touch you. You're going right back where you wanted to be all along, back on the streets. In a couple of days, you'll be out of my hair forever. Well, what are you waiting for?
Ain't nobody going to take me home?
You know the way.
Well, at least lead me to the front door. I can't find it by myself.
You know your way around this crummy station. You said so yourself. So find the door yourself.
Hubby, you in there? Answer me.
live here anymore.
All right, suit yourself.
No, wait. I'll answer it. Maybe the cops change their mind. I'll answer it. I'll answer it.
Now it's all the same to me. Now just turn off this light. You don't need it anyway. I keep forgetting that. I have to save every penny I can.
Well, turn it off. Just leave me alone. Hello?
Is that you, Poppy?
Yes? Who is it?
You didn't show at your newsstand all day today.
Who is this?
Tonight, Poppy.
Who are you?
You'll get yours tonight.
Who is this? Hello? Who is this? Hello? It wasn't a lie. Oh, I'm marked. They called up right out where I am. He'll be here in a minute. I gotta get out of here. He could have called because... Bobby. Is that you, Bobby?
Poppy?
Yeah. You come here a minute, boy.
Why are you hiding there by the phone?
You come here, Bobby boy. I want you to do me a favor.
What?
Come here, and I'll tell you.
Tell me here, why don't you?
Oh, here's a whole quarter for you. I want you to run to the store.
Can I keep the quarter?
Yes. Bless your little heart. All for yourself. You come here so blind old Poppy can put it in your hand, son. Here, give me your hand.
Oh, my arm!
Shut up. Or I'll kill you. Feel that? That's a switchblade knife, and one more peep out of you, and I'll cut your little head off with it. No, you listen to me. Just do as I say, and you won't get hurt. One word, or you try anything funny, and I'll cut you little pieces. You understand, Bobby?
Yes.
You know where that old Morton warehouse is down by the river?
Yes.
We're going there.
Why?
Never mind why. You just come with me.
You hurt my arm.
I'll hurt you a lot more than that if you don't do as I say. There's a car in the street beside us, moving very slowly. Who's in it?
2 men.
What are they doing?
I don't know.
Answer.
I don't know. Looking for house numbers, I guess.
You're driving away now, aren't they?
Yes. Let me go home, Poppy, please. You don't need me. You walk around all the time by yourself.
Shut up.
Oh, please, Poppy.
I don't stop crying now. I'll kill you right here on the street, I swear it. Now, look, Bobby. I don't want to hurt you. I need you to help me. There's some bad guys after me, Bobby, and they'll kill me if they catch me. I can get around town all right because I use my ears and I memorize things, but I still can't see. Those 2 men in that car could have had a gun on me, and I'd never have known it. That's why I need you, Bobby. I need your eyes to see with.
Are they like the bad guys on television?
Yeah, that's right.
Have you got a gun in the warehouse?
No, Bobby, but I can hide there. I own that warehouse, Bobby. Lots of people think I'm just a poor old blind man, but I've got lots of property in this town. More than people that drive big cars. It saved my money, Bobby. That's the difference.
Why are the bad guys after you?
Because I'm a good guy. If they don't get us on the way, we'll be safe. And I need you to see who's behind us and things like that. Okay?
Okay.
Listen. There's someone walking behind us with taps on his shoes. What does he look like?
He's not a bad guy.
What does he look like?
He's just one of the big kids with a black leather jacket.
That's the idea, Bobby. You keep your eyes open and we'll make it. Okay. We're getting there. The warehouse is at the end of the block. Can you see anybody hanging around down there?
No.
Well, look careful, boy.
I am. It's too dark. Just the streetlights are on. I don't see anybody there.
Good, Bobby. We'll make it. Listen.
What?
2 men are walking behind us. What do they look like?
They're so far back, it's harder to see. And now they're under the streetlight.
What do they look like?
Oh, they look like bad guys.
Yeah, we'll walk faster, and you tell me if they walk faster. They're walking faster, aren't they?
Yes.
We've got to hurry. You keep up with me.
I can't.
To the warehouse, just a few more steps.
I want to go home.
Now, here's the door. You stand still like it's a key in the lock.
I want to go home.
You come back here. You double-crosser, you. I want to talk to you. Drop dead punks. You're in my territory now. Blast it. Go ahead and blast it. You'll never find me in the back here in this empty crate.
We know you're in here, Poppy.
Yeah, try and find me.
Hit those lights.
I tried. They don't turn on. There ain't any electricity.
Poppy?
Gee, baby, you can't see your hand in front of your face.
We got him trapped in here. We'll certainly find him. You go along that wall.
Gee, baby, this place gives me the creeps.
What's the matter? You scared of a blind old man?
No, I just can't see.
You got any matches?
Yeah,
light it.
Go ahead. Go ahead for all the good it'll do you. What's that? A rat. Big furry rat. Oh, God. Let it run over me again. I can't stand them.
I heard him. He's moving around.
Over there. Hold it if you're sure you see him. Listen. He's over there someplace. Strike another match.
He's gone.
Now listen. You can still hear him moving around.
Look, halfway up that ladder.
Light another match.
I ain't got no more.
Come on. Come on, move to where we see that ladder. We can get him easy now we know where he is.
He was climbing up that catwalk up there.
We'll nail him up there. He's got no place else to go. Bobby! You might as well give up. You're a dead man.
He's going to the door up there.
Yeah, let's go out the roof.
Shoot! Go on, shoot!
He never tried to kill a fox in his own hole. By the time you dumb punks figure out how to get me out, I'll be over on the roof of the building next door and down through that condemned tenement and out the back way. Parapet between the two should be right about here. Yes, that's right. That's funny. I can't feel anything on the other side of the parapet. Did I get turned around? No, it should be right here. I feel it on the edge. Here someplace now. What was that? Somebody's up here. I hear you. Who are you? Answer me. No, stay away. Look. I'll pay you. Give me a chance. I got money, and I'll pay you. Tell me what they paid you, and then I'll pay you double. No, stay away from me. Get away from me.
Yeah, but we never laid a hand on him.
You mean to stand in front of Poppy's poor mangled body and tell me I caught you guys down here taking the air?
Yeah, something like that.
Now, look, you
Hey,
little...
Tom.
Yeah?
Come here.
What is it?
Looks like they're leveling. They couldn't have pushed him off. The only way onto that roof is the door from the catwalk. Poppy had barred it from his side. He was all alone up there.
You ain't trying to tell me he jumped. Poppy wasn't the type.
I don't know. Either that or he ran for the edge not knowing that they tore down the old tenement next door. Because there wasn't anything else up there but him and an empty tin can blowing around in the wind.
Suspense, in which Jim Backus starred in William N. Robeson's production of See How He Runs, written by George Bamber. Supporting Jim Backus in See How He Runs were Gail Bonney, Norm Alden, Lou Krugman, Barney Phillips, Dick Beals, and Sam Pierce. Listen. Listen again next week when we return with another tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Deep, Deep is My Love, starring Mr. Lloyd Bridges. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
A man's got a right to be alone once in a while. It isn't too much to ask. A couple of hours of solitude on the weekends, poking around the sea bottom with an air tank on your back. Joyce had me the rest of the time, waking and sleeping. Well, that was all right. She was a good kid, and I loved her. But I had made one bad mistake. I taught her to skin dive. Now she even wanted to be with me underwater.
Darling?
Yes, dear.
Why not? Why can't I dive with you?
What could I tell her? That today I had to dive alone? Return alone to the deep? To see if I'd gone insane? To see if the beauty below was real? Or as false as the colors of a kelpfish? To see if the girl was real? No, of course she wasn't. And yet, I had to go. And alone. I had to be sure. It's, there are dangerous currents out there.
I'm as good a skin diver as you. You said so yourself, and George is bringing some gear for me. He promised.
No, Joyce. Hand me my fins, will you?
Here. If it's too dangerous, I don't want you out there. George said you went too deep last week anyway.
He went just as deep as I did.
Looking for you. He said he got a touch of narcosis.
Narcosis. Raptures of the deep. Too much nitrogen in the blood at too great a depth. Any diver, even a pro, could get it below 100 feet. They say it's a kind of ecstasy. But it could be a deadly ecstasy, luring you downward and downward, spiraling through the swaying greens, through the sapphire blues, to the depths where all was black and white, and motionless as death. Had George had it? Had I had it? Was it this that tempted me deeper and deeper? Or was it simple escape? To a world where a man is as truly alone as the crayfish under his rock, or the moray eel in his grotto.
What's wrong with you, Don? You've been acting funny all week. Did you have narcosis? Was George right?
No, of course not. And I'm going to tell him to stop tailing me around like an anxious porpoise. I've been diving just as long as he has.
Good. Maybe he'll quit and you'll dive with me again. You play tennis with me. You never go skiing without me. We're together every second you're not at work, so why can't we... Well, I want to know. We do everything together, and now you
Maybe that's the trouble.
What do you mean?
Hi, kids. Skip it. Here he is.
Oh.
Hi, Joyce.
Hi, George.
I'm sorry. I had to fill the tanks.
It's okay.
Bought an extra tank. Some gear for you, Joyce.
She isn't coming, George.
Oh? Well, whatever you say, but we could keep it shallow. A lot more lobsters at 30 feet than 200.
She's not coming, George.
Meet King Neptune. That's his world, and he doesn't want any women in it.
You know, Joyce, he was out of my sight in that grotto for 15 minutes last week. Maybe he's got a mermaid down there.
I was after a lobster.
What, at 200? Hey, no kidding, buddy. I'm not following you down there again. Those old nitrogen bubbles started playing tag in my brain. I could hear the angels singing loud and clear. I just about fell in love with a sand shark.
What do you mean?
I had it, man. Nitrogen narcosis. It's cheap drunk with no hangover unless you go all the way, and then it's so permanent. Oh, sir, it's not for me.
There's plenty of warning.
Yeah, sure, but it's such a lovely warning. Real pleasant. Your arms turn numb, you couldn't care less. You maybe hear voices, and you couldn't care less. And the deeper you go, the deeper you want to go, and you couldn't care less. Oh, sir, make mine martinis. You might drive off a cliff going home, but at least it's quick. So let's keep it a little shallower today, huh? You tell him, Joyce.
I don't care if he finds a tunnel to China. I'm going to look for seashells, if that's all right, Don. I won't get my feet wet.
I watched her start down the beach. head up to hide her disappointment. Lovely brown body swaying as she picked her way through the rocks. I almost called her back. She liked diving. It really wasn't fair to cut her out. But something stopped me. Something calling to me from beyond the rolling surf. You ready, George?
Yeah, just about. I think you had it too, Don.
What?
Narcosis. When I finally got the guts to go hunting for you, remember where I found you? In the mouth of that cave with a silly look on your face. When I tried to get you to go, you looked like you were going to go for me.
Well, I was, looking for something. You ready now? Oh, for crying out loud.
What?
Don't go deep.
Oh, I'm telling you, if it isn't you, it's her.
Okay, Joyce.
All right, let's go, huh? The water was warm, and snorkeling on the surface, I could see that it was clear as air below. Clear and green, with the giant kelp swaying, beckoning me down. But I pushed ahead to the hole off Point Dume, a bottomless deep astride the great circle course the gray whales take from Galita Point to the breeding grounds in Magdalena Bay. I had seen whales here, startling as moving reefs, suspended between surface and bottom, driven southward, always southward, driven by the urge to mate. I had seen black sea bass flashing downward at the sound of a boat, and great bat rays gliding deeper than I could follow. And here I had once speared a 30-pound sheep's head. I had nightmares for weeks and remorse, because he was harmless and friendly, and I'd killed him on impulse to bring him back to Joyce. He'd sounded for the deep when I hit him, trying to lose me and retreat to some dark hole to nurse his wound, as all creatures will. But the spearhead held, and I'd taken all the depth that he could find. Now he hung as a reminder in my garage. I hadn't speared a fish since. I hated lately even to drag the big bull lobsters from their holes. It was so much better just to drift along the bottom and look and wonder.
Hey, Tom, how far are we going?
I pretended that I hadn't heard. To drift and wonder. To drift and wonder in a world of silent creatures who ignored a man as long as he made no hostile move, as long as he left them to their holes. This was a world where a man could hide from supermarkets and freeways and movies and...
Hey, John, won't this do?
We were over the deep area now. I adjusted my face mask, put my mouthpiece in my mouth, and blew out what water was in my hose. Then I tested the free flow of air from my tank and dove. I was back in my underwater world again. The water caressed me as I dove down 30, 40, 50 feet, heading for a spire of rock to a castle guarding the edge of the underwater canyon of Point Dume. The water turned slowly to light blue, and the cares of the week slipped from my back. I told myself to be content with this. The other thing down there was fantasy. At the spire, I stopped to tickle a starfish, stared into the pink eyes of a golden Garibaldi until he flicked his tail at me and swam away. Joined a school of perch as they started their flight over the canyon. Then I saw it. Just like last week. I told myself that there must be a leaf of kelp far below or some golden-sided fish. But no. I caught the flash of a slim body again, girl-like, turning below, beckoning me down. Another skin diver? No, it was the girl. The girl who had danced in my mind all through the week. I shivered. There were no voices beneath the sea, not even from other divers. But we had talked before, for minutes, hours, an eternity. And she remembered my name. I shivered, fighting the urge to dive deeper. No, I better not. And the voice was gone. She was gone. I had to know. I dove into the canyon, searching for the flash of gold, catching it, losing it, while my arms turned to wings and my body to water, and everything was glorious, shimmering blue. If I could only find her, catch her, the golden girl that I remembered with the lonely, laughing eyes. Wait. Wait for me. Wait. I glided around the giant boulders, midnight blue at 200 feet. Soared through a lighter blue spotlight of sun filtering through the branches of a giant kelp above. I had somewhere lost her, the golden girl, but I knew that I'd find her again, that she was only teasing. Until I did, it was ecstasy to move suspended in the liquid void, watching my air bubbles form a pearly necklace past my face mask. A moray eel, rattlesnake of the deep, flashed by and I waved to him. It didn't seem odd anymore. Words underwater. And I could speak too. Where are you?
Hiding. What are you laughing at?
I don't know. I just feel like laughing. Where are you?
Can't you see me?
All at once, rounding a reef, I did see her. She was sitting in a shaft of blue sunlight, and all around her towered the age-old rocks of the Dumé Deep. Her body was as golden as I'd remembered. Her face half familiar. Her eyes laughing and lonely. This was no thing of the deep, no mermaid of legend. This was a woman, all mankind's woman. And in her eyes was understanding of all men. And I loved her and feared her at the same time. Who are you? Why do you stay down here?
I told you, because I like you.
Well, aren't you lonely?
I like being alone.
Yes, I do too sometimes. But it seems like I never am anymore.
I know.
How do you know?
I know all about you.
Hey, you don't have a mask. How do you breathe?
I'm used to it.
Where do you stay?
Don't you remember?
Faintly, I remembered a cave in the depths. A dark, warm place of song and peace. Yes, I think I do.
Do you want to go there?
No, I better not.
We'll be alone there.
But I've been down so long, my tank's...
We'll be alone there.
George will be worried.
We'll be alone.
And my wife.
We'll be alone.
Then she was swimming lazily through the boulders, and I was following her to a dimly remembered grotto. At last, we were close together in the dim, watery cave.
You're alone now, Don. You're alone.
I wanted suddenly to kiss her. I fumbled with my mask.
If you take off your mask, you won't be able to see. You might drown.
Come here.
Wait. There's somebody there.
What?
I can hear somebody outside. We aren't alone.
I peered from the grotto and saw George groping through the shadows, searching. It's my buddy. Well, he's looking for me. I don't know. What can I do? He found me here once before.
You have a right to be alone.
I know, but what can I do?
If he comes closer, you're as strong as he is. Stronger. You know what I mean.
I crouched in the cave, coiled like a moray eel, ready to strike if he peered in, blocking my light, and I tensed. He's gone. Come here. Come to me. She slid into my arms, pliant as kelp, light as water itself.
Aren't you afraid? You've been down so long.
No, I don't care.
Wait. What's that?
If he's back, I'll kill him.
No, it isn't he.
Well, who is it?
It's your wife.
My what? How could she be down here?
They're looking for you. You've been down so long.
What will I do?
Do you want to go with her?
No. I want her to let me alone. Just for a little while.
She won't. She's even followed you here. She'll never let you be alone.
What will I do?
You know what to do.
But I love her, you know.
A man has a right to be alone. I'd let you alone.
I backed into the cave and waited. A form moved by the entrance to the grotto, and I saw in the gloom my wife's face, frowning behind a mask, peering and worried. Oh, why can't she let me alone?
She never lets you be alone.
All right then. Will you let me alone? Let me alone!
about?
Now she'll let you alone. Now she will.
What'd I do?
Don't you know?
Who is it?
Don't you know it's Joyce?
But she's dead.
Yes, she's dead, Don. She wouldn't let you alone, and she followed you here, and you killed.
No.
It's all right. Nobody knows but me. Come on, Don. Come with me.
No.
Leave her. She's dead. Come on, Don. Follow me.
High above was the blessed blue light of the sky. It was an effort to breathe now, and up there was air and life. Here was death, still death. Joyce lay near the mouth of the cave with her ripped air hose trickling useless bubbles, and on her face was the look of one asleep in peace. Seeing her there in narcosis, the crazy rapture passed, and I knew that I must stay with her under the surging tides.
Come on, Don. Come with me.
No.
Don, come with me. Come with me.
I cradled my wife in my arms, and that is how it has been for minutes, for hours, for an eternity. And Benita stared at us for a moment, and left. And a school of perch. So I will never be alone. Joyce will be with me always. I will never be alone.
Suspense. And the producer of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, the master of mystery and adventure, William N. Robeson.
In spite of the sometimes discouraging evidence to the contrary, crime really doesn't pay. The chaser of the fast buck always slips upon a banana peel of retribution and ends up with his nose to the grindstone of penal servitude, if we may be permitted to mangle a metaphor. Upon this moral precept hangs a tale, which you are about to hear. Listen then as Jackie Cooper stars in The Amateur, which begins in just a moment.
This is Frank Knight speaking for the world's most honored watch, Longines. The name Longines on the dial of a watch is an accepted symbol of excellence. Decade after decade, for almost a century, Longines watches have maintained this enviable position of leadership, winning highest honors for excellence, elegance, and accuracy in public competitions against the best of the world's watches. To wear a Longines watch marks a person of good taste and good judgment as well, for like all things of finest quality, a Longines is in the long run the most economical. Amazingly, you may own or proudly give a Longines watch for as little as $75. A Longines, the world's most honored watch, styled with distinction, cased in precious metal, promising a lifetime of faultless timekeeping. And here is a suggestion. For Mother on Mother's Day, why not a Longines watch? Your authorized Longines Whitnor jeweler will be honored to serve you.
And now, The Amateur, starring Mr. Jackie Cooper. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
You see, me and Boots always been buddies, right, Boots?
Right, Jerry.
And, we're always looking for an easy way to a fast buck, so when this here thing happens, well, we ain't exactly amateurs, So it gives us the idea. It happened last Tuesday night. Me and Boots had been down the pool hall shooting a few, and along about 11 o'clock, we catch the bus uptown. Boots lives about 10 blocks north of me, so I'm hopping off the bus before him. I'll see you, Boots.
Right. Take it easy, Jerry.
Hey, call you tomorrow.
Right.
It's about a half a block from the bus stop to my castle. Nothing but a basement apartment in one of them brownstone buildings, you understand. But it's my castle. Well, I'm almost to my steps when I see this here guy come running along the other side of the street. All of a sudden, he cuts across toward me, and a car comes out of nowhere, hits the guy, and clobbers him flat against the brownstone wall, almost on my doorstep. Then it backs off, and it's out of sight before I can breathe twice. Hey, you all right, mister? Hey, fella. The guy was dead.
What happened down there?
A hit and run.
I'll call the police.
Okay. All right, stand back, everybody. Now, don't touch nothing until the law gets here.
Where did he come from?
The neighborhood was turning out like it was a block party or something. I guess when a thing like this happens, you can't keep them away. Curiosity, maybe a little sympathy, I don't know. Anyway, about 5 minutes later, up comes the cops.
Come on, move back now. Stand back, everybody. Look, anybody see this happen?
Yeah, I did. I saw the whole thing.
Yeah, what's your name?
Malloy, Jerry Malloy.
You get the license number?
No. Well, I mean, see, I seen this guy running down the street, and then he cuts across like he was trying to get to me or something, and his car comes along and pow.
Know what kind of a car it was?
Oh, a big one. A caddy, maybe?
You get a look at the driver?
No.
And you don't know whether it was a man or a woman?
Well, he goes on asking questions, and the more he asks, the less I seem to know about it. The photographer from one of the dailies arrive, and it's flashing all over the place. They even take my picture. Why, I don't know. But finally, the wagon takes the poor guy away, and the neighborhood goes back to bed. I take off, too, and I go down the steps to the castle, when right in front of my door, my foot hits something. There, lying at my feet, is this here license plate, see? Kind of beat up like. I pick it up, and sure enough, there's blood on it.
In a moment, we continue with the second act of Suspense.
What are the little-known facts behind the unflattering page one headlines about Bing Crosby's boys? Who do they blame for all the criticism that's been coming their way lately? How do Bing's 4 sons feel about their strict, toe-of-the-line upbringing? Are they doing anything to live their own lives successfully without benefit of their famous father? In May, McCall's magazine got the answers to these questions in a revealing, frank story about the private life problems of Bing and his boys. Also in May, McCall's, find out about the immensely powerful woman behind the throne of England, Marina, Duchess of Kent. Learn how her influence resulted in Queen Elizabeth's marriage to Philip, ended Princess Margaret's romance, prevented a great court scandal. Get exciting May McCall's on all newsstands now.
And now, starring Mr. Jackie Cooper, Act 2 of The Amateur.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that this here plate bounced off that car that clobbered the poor guy in the street. My first impulse is to hightail it down to the police station, turn in the evidence. But I decided to call my buddy first and tell him about all the excitement, and see if he'll go with me. Boots says to stay put, he'll be right over.
And you seen it all, Jerry?
Yeah.
The cops don't know about the license plate, huh?
No, of course not, you dope. I found it after everybody'd gone.
But it was a big car, huh? A caddy, maybe?
I think so. It all happened so quick.
But it was a big-looking car, kind of prosperous.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure of that.
Did you get a look at the driver?
Look, Boots, the cops already asked me all that. Come on, let's go.
Oh, wait a minute, Jerry. I got an idea.
Like what?
Well, I've been thinking about it since you called me. We might be able to promote ourselves a little dough.
Dough?
Big car, rich man, maybe. Rich enough to want to buy his way out of a hit-and-run rap.
You mean blackmail a guy?
No, not blackmail. Just a sale. We got something he'd be mighty glad to have. We sell it to him. Deal's closed.
I don't know. This is evidence. We ought to take it to the cops.
If he's just rich, this ought to be worth a couple of grand to him. If he's important, maybe 10.
It's blood money in a way, kind of.
But if he's important and rich, who knows? We might be set to spend the winter in Florida, Jerry. Get us a couple of dolls.
But, Boots, listen.
Then we'll spend the summer in Europe. Them French babes. Ooh, la, la.
How are we going to find out who he is?
Trace the plate.
No, only the cops can do that.
I got a friend, Andy. He can find out for us.
Suppose he gets suspicious.
No, not Andy. Look, let me handle it, huh? Don't go to the cops till we have a chance to see if it works, okay?
Well, okay.
We're going to be up there, Jerry. Them little jobs we pulled from time to time, peanuts compared to this.
Yeah, but they were safe.
You want to be an amateur all your life? This'll make a pro out of you. Set us up for a good long time.
Well, okay.
That's the boy. I'll drop around the garage tomorrow after I talk to Andy. Okay?
Yeah, okay. Morning comes, and I take off for work at the garage on 85th Street. I'm on my way in the bus when I pass the newsstand at the corner, and there I am, staring right back at myself from the morning papers, right on the front page. My picture. I buy a couple of papers and hop the bus downtown. I'm shaking with excitement. Me on the front page. There's the story about the guy being clobbered in front of my place. Unidentified victim, the paper says. But they got me pictured for being the eyewitness. First to arrive on that scene, it says. And then it goes on about me seeing it and where I live, where I work and all. I don't even remember telling them all that. But, boy, the picture sure came out good. Well, I get to the garage, and I'm a celebrity. All the guys have seen the paper, and the boss says it's $1,000 worth of advertising for the garage, and he tells me to take the day off. So I'm just about to leave and go see Boots when there's a call for me. So I take it in the office, and it's this guy.
Hello, Mr. Malloy.
Yeah?
I read in the paper this morning that you witnessed the tragedy on 110th Street last night.
Who are you, a reporter?
No, but you might give me some information.
I told the cops all I know, which was a munch.
The paper says you were the first to reach the victim.
Yeah, that's right.
And it happened right in front of your apartment?
Hey, what is this?
I'll come right to the point, Mr. Malloy. I was wondering if you might have found something.
What do you mean?
Something I might be interested in having back.
Oh?
Did you find something?
Maybe. You know it's missing, huh?
Yes. I'll be willing to pay.
Well...
Then you do have it.
Maybe.
Where can I meet you?
Well, I got the day off.
I'll pick you up any place you say.
Make it 1 o'clock. Corner of Broadway and 96.
I'll be there. I'll be driving a dark green Cadillac.
Okay. 1 o'clock.
I'll recognize you from the paper.
Well, things was happening even faster than we could have planned. I wanted to give myself time to see Boots and talk it over with him.
It's great. Great. Right in our laps.
Maybe.
Now, don't take the plate with you. Talk terms first. Size him up.
Yeah, he sounded kind of educated. Or high class, like.
Yeah, he's probably a millionaire scared silly about a hit-and-run rap. Now, play it cagey. You got him right in the palm of your hand. Remember, he looked you up, so he's scared. You can make your own deal.
Yeah.
I'll wait for you down the pool hall.
Okay, I'll see you there as soon as I'm finished. At 1:45, I'm waiting on the corner of 96th and Broadway. About 5 minutes to 1, a big green caddy drives around the corner and goes on down Broadway. I'm wondering if that can be the guy when, sure enough, comes around the block again, stops, and a well-dressed guy at the wheel opens the door.
Mr. Malloy?
Yeah.
Get in. I wanted to be sure it was you before I stopped.
It's me. What's your name?
Edward Keller. We'll take Riverside Drive. The traffic's light, and I prefer to keep my mind on business rather than traffic.
Okay, by me. He's not a bad-looking guy. About 45, maybe, dressed to the teeth, and sort of high-class look about him. I feel sort of shabby next to him, in spite of I'm wearing my best suit. But I got the upper hand no matter what. Well, we hit Riverside Drive, the traffic thins out, and he looks over at me.
I took a long chance you might have found what I want.
Kind of coincidental, ain't it?
Quite. I may as well be frank, Malloy. If the police had found that, it could have put me in a very serious position.
You're telling me.
But as it turned out, you found it and kept your mouth shut. I'm willing to pay for that service and for your silence afterwards, of course.
Sure. Package deal.
Package deal.
I'm wondering, though, how come you thought I had it?
You were the first one to reach the victim.
Yeah.
And the newspaper story made no mention of the police finding it.
Fat chance. Landed right in front of my door.
That's almost incredible.
I don't know. You hit him pretty hard.
I what?
You really clobbered that guy. I mean, it's a wonder you didn't lose a fender, too.
What are you talking about?
The accident. Your license plate.
You're not making sense.
Well, who are you? You trying to back down or something?
I don't know what your dodge is, Malloy, but don't...
Now, listen, I ain't dodging. You are. You want to buy back your license plate, or don't you?
I'm not interested in any license plate. I want that $100,000 worth of heroin the man was carrying.
sociable, up-to-date, debonair.
What's this, a new word game?
No, I'm just mentioning the qualities that people admire in other people.
Oh, I see. If you're sociable, up-to-date, and what was that other word, debonair?
Yes, debonair. But listen to it this way. Be sociable, look smart, keep up-to-date with Pepsi, drink light, refreshing Pepsi. Stay young and fair and debonair. Be sociable. Have a Pepsi.
Notice how many of your friends are serving Pepsi-Cola these days. It's the up-to-date refreshment.
Be sociable. Serve Pepsi.
And now, starring Mr. Jackie Cooper, Act 3 of The Amateur.
Well, I'm sitting there like I'm turned to stone or something. Heroin. This caper was getting too hot for me. He pulls up to the curb and stops the car.
All right, Malloy, we can cut out the cat and mouse routine.
Now, wait a minute. You mean to tell me you ain't the guy driving that car last night?
I'll ask the questions.
But I thought...
I'm not interested in what you thought. I want that packet.
Will you listen to me for a minute? I don't know nothing about no H or packet or nothing.
Malloy, the man who was killed was purchasing that heroin for me. He was carrying it when he was run down.
This I know nothing about.
The police didn't report finding anything on him, and you know as well as I they would have. Now it adds up, doesn't it? No heroin on Jackie. You the first to reach him.
I didn't touch the guy, I swear.
You led me to believe on the phone you had it.
On my mother's grave, I don't know nothing about it. I found a license plate, a beat-up plate I figured came from the car that hit him. I thought you was the driver and wanted to get the plate back to save your skin from a hit-and-run rap.
That's quite a story.
Look, if I had this stuff, don't you think I'd be bargaining with you right this minute? Would I be making up a story about a license plate? Wouldn't I be naming my price for the stuff? Huh? Wouldn't I?
Well, maybe you would at that.
Now you're looking at the situation from the right angle.
If the police didn't find the stuff, and if you're telling the truth, it means Jackie wasn't carrying it.
Sure, that's it.
And if he wasn't carrying it, he never got it.
Well, I got an appointment, I just remembered. I'll catch the subway downtown.
Sit still.
No, I can get back, okay?
You'll get back when I'm ready to take you.
We start back uptown. This guy's really sore, but not at me. That I'm sure of. When we get to 106th Street, he pulls up in front of an apartment and stops. We're only 4 blocks from my place. He gets out and motions me to go ahead of him. We walk up the steps to a foyer. He rings a bell in a sort of rhythm, like a code or something, and after a couple of seconds, a buzzer opens the door. We take an elevator to the 3rd floor, and when the door's open, he steps out into a little hall with one door in it. Keller goes through the same ring a bit, and the door opens a crack.
What do you want, Keller?
I want to see Giacomo.
He's not here.
I'll wait.
Who is this punk?
Never mind.
We'll come back later, huh?
Come on in, Keller. Take off.
The room's dark. Not pitch dark, but gloomy kind of. The voice comes from a big fat guy sitting behind the biggest desk I ever seen.
Sorry about Jackie, Keller.
I'll bet you are.
Who's this?
The man who saw Jackie get hit.
Oh? Bringing him here wasn't very wise.
I want to get something cleared up.
Indeed.
What did you pull on me last night?
I don't think I like your tone, Keller. What do you mean?
Jackie didn't have the stuff or the money on him when they scraped him off the sidewalk.
Oh?
How do you explain that?
Why ask me?
Because I think Jackie gave you the money, but you didn't give him the heroin.
Really, Keller? What do you take me for? Jackie never showed up last night.
What?
I was expecting him. As a matter of fact, I inconvenienced myself waiting for him. Then this morning we read of his demise. I presume he was on his way here when he was hit.
And why didn't he have the money? $100,000 in cash. The papers would surely have latched onto that.
Why don't you ask your friend here? Wasn't he the first to reach Jackie?
Now, wait
I'm
a
really
minute.
annoyed with you, Keller. We've been dealing with each other for years, and you let a punk like this pull the wool over your eyes. You come in here accusing me.
Now, take it easy, Jack.
I don't know nothing about any $100,000.
Let me handle this, Keller.
If he's got the money, I'll find out my own way.
I'm afraid not. It's become my concern now.
What do you mean?
I mean I can't have a punk like this knowing about my operations here. Take him down to the garage. We'll find out what he did with your money during the ride.
Ride? Hey, you guys kidding or something?
Wait a minute, Giacomo. I'm not so sure that's the right way.
It is the only way. I have to protect my interests. And yours as well. If you know what I mean. Use this private elevator. I'll meet you in the garage.
All right, Giacomo. But if anything happens before I get that money...
You have nothing to worry about, Keller. Nothing at all. Get going.
Well, I don't mind saying now, I was scared out of my Sunday pants. I didn't have to ask any more questions to know what these birds were up to. These were the real pros. And I knew this Giacomo guy was playing for keeps. Well, the elevator glides to a stop, and out we get. The doors close, and it goes back up again. I see we're in a small garage with two big jobs parked facing the doors. And then it hits me. I'm seeing a familiar-looking license plate on the rear of the black caddy. Maybe this is my chance.
Over there, Malloy, and keep quiet.
Now, Keller, you got to listen to me.
Shut up.
Now, listen. That's the car. The black cad there on the left. That's the one.
The one what?
That's the car I seen run down that pal of yours.
What?
Believe me, I know that license number. And I give you 10 to 1 odd the front plate's gone. You see, it ain't there. Because at this minute, it's behind the bottom drawer of my dresser. Don't you see? I've been leveling with you.
Yes. I'm beginning to see a lot of things.
This schmo Giacomo rode down your pal with his own car. Look at him dents in the bumper. Uh-oh.
Keep out of the way, Malloy. I've got a little matter to take up with Giacomo.
But watch out. He's got his goon with him.
Well, Keller, why aren't you in the car?
Which one, Giacomo? The one you murdered Jackie with?
Boss? No. No, the other one. Or perhaps you'd like to run for it, as Jackie did.
Oh, no, Giacomo. You can take the punks for rides and squash the flunkies on the sidewalk, but you don't push me over.
I am eliminating my middleman, Keller.
You're eliminating nothing. I want that 100,000.
You won't be needing it.
What are you...
I've decided not to sell to you anymore. And the nature of our business makes a permanent termination necessary. I think you know what I mean.
You fat pig.
Get in that car.
You fat rat, you miserable...
Then all three of them were in a heap on the floor, and I was in the caddy starting the motor. I stepped on the gas, and I went through them garage doors like a dog through a hoop. And then... Well, you guessed it. I run smack into a police car. And I'm never so glad to see cops in all my life. Well, they go in and clean up Giacomo and his playmates. But if you don't think I had some explaining to do, they had me tied up with them ghouls. So I have to get them to take me home where I give them the license plate and tell them the whole story. I get a hold of Boots, and like the buddy he is, he backs me up. But we have to spill the whole thing to the cops to get ourselves out of being connected with the dope pushers. Right, Boots?
Right, Jerry.
So, they're holding us for intent to blackmail, withholding evidence, and I don't know what all. But the mouthpiece says we'll probably get off easy since we made a clean breast of it and helped catch them harpies. Hey, by the way, Mac, what are you in for?
Suspense, in which Jackie Cooper starred in William N. Robeson's production of The Amateur, written by Robert Jurin. In a moment, the names of our supporting players and a word about next week's story of Suspense.
A young lady by the name of Scheherazade kept her audience of one enthralled for 1,001 nights with one of the longest stories in history. That's a long time to devote to one chronicle, but some of CBS Radio's winning 7 weekday dramas have put that record in the shade, entertaining audiences in the millions with many times 1,001 days of continuing dramatic serials. Each weekday on the CBS Radio Network, there's a wealth of daytime drama, including such outstanding serials as The Romance of Helen Trent, The Couple Next Door, Ma Perkins, Whispering Streets, The Right to Happiness, The Second Mrs. Burton, and Young Dr. Malone. Monday through Friday, follow these absorbing, true-to-life stories. Only CBS Radio brings you the winning 7 combination of top daytime dramas. Another important reason for the different sound of this CBS radio station.
Supporting Jackie Cooper in The Amateur were Tommy Cook, Peter Leeds, Barry Kroger, and Norm Alden. Listen. Listen again next week when we return with Ida Lupino and Howard Duff starring in On a Country Road. Another tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.